Douluo, Supernatural Replication and Evolution System. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 26, The Speechless Matching System. At the same time, a soul power test similar to that of the Spirit Hall was conducted to determine the respective levels. Daimyo told everyone that every time they came to participate in the soul fighting, they had to take a soul power test first to determine the opponents. Tianyu and the others all completed their own registration. The staff member who registered Tianyu was a woman with a pretty face and a good figure. When testing Tianyu's soul power and martial soul, she was surprised to find that Tianyu was only 12 years old, but her soul power had reached the 41st level of Soul Master. Well, release your martial soul. Tianyu's soul power urged, and a black holy dragon appeared behind him. Dark Holy Dragon. Tianyu did not say the full name of the martial soul, but simply said 4 words. Tianyu suppressed the momentum when the martial soul was released, but the dragon's might could not be completely suppressed no matter how hard he tried. But just a little bit of dragon might that leaked out still shocked the woman. Please fill in your code name. Black Dragon. Okay, your soul fighting arena information has been registered. You are being matched with an opponent. Tianyu chose a 1v1 battle. According to the rules of the soul fighting arena, his soul power level is a soul master of level 40, so the opponent he matched is also a soul master of level 40 or above. In less than a moment, he was matched with an opponent, who was a soul master of level 49. He was a soul master of the peak gold rank who was about to advance to the purple gold rank. Since it was Tianyu's first time to play, he was assigned to the number 6 branch. Only those who won more than 10 games in a row were eligible to go to the number 1 main court. When Tianyu played, the battle screen of the number 6 branch also began to light up, showing the codename, Black Dragon, rank Black Iron, level 41 Soul Master, record 0 games 0 wins 0 losses versus codename, Tyrant, level 49 Soul Master, rank Gold Peak, record 999 games, 666 wins 333 losses. This disparate battle immediately attracted the attention of many people in the audience. This unlucky guy met Tyrant on his first match. The difference in strength means he is doomed to lose. That's right, he is a newcomer who has never played a game. How can he fight Tyrant who has been in the fighting arena for many years? I bet $10 that this young man will not last more than 3 moves in Tyrant's hands. Almost all the people in the audience were not optimistic about Tianyu. Some people even set up a bet on how many seconds Tianyu can last in Tyrant's hands. The odds for lasting less than 10 seconds are 500, 1, for lasting more than 20 seconds are 300, 1, and for lasting more than 30 seconds are 100, 1. There is also a bet that no one has made at all, which is to bet on Tianyu to win the game. The odds are 1,000. Which means that if you bet 1 gold soul coin on Tianyu to win, as long as Tianyu wins, you can get 1,000 gold soul coins. But no one bet at all. In the supreme box opened by Tianyu. Flanders, I didn't expect Tianyu to be so polite. He opened a supreme level box for 100,000 gold soul coins a night without any concern. Since Tianyu is so rich, should I let him sponsor the college in the future? Dean, is this what you should focus on now? Daimyo said speechlessly. Flanders sat on the chair, crossed his legs and said, Don't worry, Tianyu's strength is not as simple as it seems. A small soul master can't cause any problem to him. Ning Rongrong took Xiao Wu's hand and said, Xiao Wu, is Tianyu really okay? Will he be injured? The child looked at Ning Rongrong strangely and said, Rongrong, I'm Tianyu's girlfriend. I'm not worried about him. What are you worried about? Xiao Wu leaned close to Ning Rongrong's ear and said, Do you like Tianyu? Hearing Xiao Wu's words, Ning Rongrong immediately blushed, looking like a little girl who was caught doing something wrong. But Xiao Wu said, If you like it, then you like it. I won't say anything. Really? Ning Rongrong was a little confused. What did Xiao Wu mean by this? Could it be that Xiao Wu doesn't mind sharing her boyfriend with others? She was very confused now. Tianyu on the field looked at the big man opposite, and Tianyu complained in his heart, the matching system of this fighting soul field is really the same as the matching system of a certain game in his previous life. It's really speechless. Fortunately, the person matched by the opponent was Tianyu. If it was another level 40 Soul Master, wouldn't he be beaten to death by the opponent? The big man on the opposite side laughed arrogantly and said, "Boy, you are so unlucky. I happened to meet me in the promotion match, so I will be gentle with you." After that, he squeezed his huge fist and made a crackling sound. In the Supreme Box, Xiao Wu, who was sitting on the chair, suddenly clapped her hands and said, "Oh, I forgot to bet gold soul coins for Tianyu. Boss Dai, do you know where to bet gold soul coins?" "Daimyo Bei, Xiao Wu, do you want to bet?" "How much?" "I'll help you bet." Xiao Wu put her finger on her chin and thought for a while. Less, 10 million gold soul coins. Xiao Wu said and threw a supreme purple gold card to Daimyo Bei. Daimyo Bei was stunned. 10 million soul coins? Is this less? Daimyo Bei looked at the supreme card in his hand and was dumbfounded. This is a supreme purple gold card, and it's genuine, there's no mistake. Flanders, who sensed a breath of money, also saw the card, and teleported to Daimyo Bei, picked up the card and checked it. He said, that's right. This material, this mark, this shape, it's the legendary supreme purple gold card. Daimyo Bei asked quickly, "Xiao Wu, where did you get this card?" "From your looks, is this card very rare?" "Tianyu gave it to me." "Tianyu still has a lot. He said he would ask him for more after he spent it all." Ning Rongrong also said, "It's more than rare. There are probably not many in the entire empire. Even my father only has one supreme purple gold card." Flanders, who was looking at money, suddenly said, "Ahem, Xiao Wu, I'll keep such an important thing for you." Before he finished the word management, the card in his hand was taken back by Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu smiled and said, "Thank you for the kindness of the dean. Since it is the card given to me by my brother, I will naturally be able to keep it myself. You don't have to worry about it." After that, she gave the card to Daimyo Bei and asked him to bet on Tianyu. Flanders could only watch Daimyo Bei take the card away and go to bet on Tianyu. Flanders sat back down, thinking, after I go back, I must ask Tianyu to invest some money in the college. It's not much, 200 or 300 million gold soul coins should be enough. Oscar and Fatty looked at the side a little confused. They didn't know much, so they naturally didn't know what was on the card. So Oscar asked Flanders, "Dean, is there anything special about that card?" Flanders said lazily, "Nothing special, it just has 1 billion gold soul coins in it." Fatty exclaimed, 1 billion gold soul coins are enough for me to release evil fire in the store many times. Toss a coin, today's third update. Chapter 27 R&M, return the money. After a while, Daimyo Bei placed the bet. If the odds are 1000, Tianyu will get 10 billion gold soul coins after winning the game. Although gold soul coins are useless to Tianyu, who would complain about too little money? No one was optimistic about Tianyu this time, so except for Daimyo Bei's 10 million gold soul coins, no one else bet on Tianyu to win. Seeing Daimyo Bei bet 10 million gold soul coins on Tianyu, the people in the fighting spirit field did not have any doubts, because although they would do such things as black box operations, they would arrange in advance to notify the people below. For example, they did not receive any information today, which means that Tianyu is not a trustee of their Soto City fighting spirit field, and they don't care at all that if Tianyu wins, their fighting spirit field will need to pay 10 billion gold soul coins. Back to the fighting spirit field. At the beginning of the game, the strong man was directly possessed by the martial spirit. His martial spirit was the Blast Bear King. A huge black bear appeared behind him, with large bulges of muscles, black hair starting to appear on his body, his hands turning into sharp bear claws, and his height increasing to 3 meters. He looked more and more like a bear, and his body became even bigger, like a human tank. A black soul ring rose from the sturdy man's body, 4th soul skill, Black Crack Blast. A special soul power gathered in his arms until his hands turned into a pair of sharp black long claws. Another purple soul ring floated up from the sturdy man's body, the 3rd soul skill, Violent Sprint. The people in the audience stands shouted excitedly, "It's appeared, it's the tyrant's famous skill." A new soul skill combined with the attack of the 4th soul skill and the speed of the 3rd soul skill. The tyrant has used this trick to kill many opponents in seconds. It seems that the tyrant is serious. He really wants to defeat that guy named Black Dragon in one move. Why doesn't that guy use his martial soul? What does he want to do? Has he given up? Xianyu stood in place, looking at the tyrant rushing towards him, and quietly said a few words. In the face of absolute strength, everything is nothing. Xianyu slowly raised his hand, and a dark force began to spread from his body. At this moment, it seemed as if the entire fighting spirit arena had darkened, and an extreme dark force instantly swallowed up the big man. The sturdy man was frozen in mid-air at this time. He was very scared at this time. He was fine, but suddenly he couldn't move. In his perspective, it was pitch black all around. This situation was like you were basking in the sun, but you suddenly died, and then you came directly to the dark hell. Xianyu was already in the state of being possessed by the dark holy dragon martial spirit. His long black hair was floating behind him, his dark pupils were like an endless abyss, behind him was a pair of dark dragon wings, and in his hands was a dark holy dragon's magical power dark holy sword. The tyrant was fixed in mid-air and couldn't move at all, like a lamb to be slaughtered. Xianyu held the hilt of the dark holy sword in his hand and swung it out instantly. A dark sword energy was cut out instantly. The terrifying power cut a long crack on the ground of the battlefield, and finally the sword energy cut straight on the sturdy man. The sturdy man was directly knocked off the platform and fell straight down to the stage, losing the ability to fight. Xianyu did not kill the strong man. Xianyu was not a saint. First, Xianyu was not a person who liked to kill. Second, he was too lazy to kill someone who did not provoke him. Third, he was too lazy to kill someone who was not a heinous criminal. Of course, if he met someone, he would let Lan come out and kill him. Fourth, he did not want the woman in the box to see him killing people. After Xianyu defeated the strong man, he left the platform in a chic manner. At this time, the audience was silent, and after a while, a fanatical roar broke out. This was not cheering for Xianyu, but CNM shady dealings. Shady dealings, there must be shady dealings. How could a tyrant so powerful be killed in seconds by a young man? Damn it, you should act more realistically. Damn it, aren't you insulting the IQ of our audience in the Daohan arena? I've bet all my wealth on it. I'm not going to live anymore. RNM, return the money. At this time, no one in the Daohan arena believed that this was not a shady deal. At this time, the officials of the Daohan arena were also panicking. In a room deep in the fighting spirit arena, a middle-aged man smashed the table in front of him with a slap and then shouted, "Is this person from our fighting spirit arena?" The young man standing in front of him said, "Owner, after checking the contact with the headquarters, it is 100% confirmed that the person is not one of ours." The middle-aged man did not speak, but it was a little scary and quiet, and the young man standing in front of him was even more frightened. But at this time, another young man pushed open the door and walked in, saying anxiously, "Owner, that young man has started to match opponents again." At this time, Xianyu matched another opponent in the fighting spirit arena. Xianyu's opponent in this game is another level 49 peak soul master, codenamed Ning Rongrong, whose rank is higher than the previous tyrant, and is a purple gold level opponent. His winning rate is much higher than that of the tyrant. Ning Rongrong is a tall and strong man with blue hair. As soon as Ning Rongrong came on the stage, he said, "The tyrant guy is really a waste. He can't even beat a new kid." His words revealed a strong disdain for the tyrant. Ning Rongrong pointed at Xianyu and said, "Boy, I'm not a useless tyrant, you have to be careful." Xianyu said lightly, "Stop talking nonsense, come on." Ning Rongrong laughed, "Okay, it's normal for young people to be a little arrogant if they have some strength." But he changed the subject and said, "But since Uncle has met you, Uncle will make you know that arrogance requires strength." His words made Xianyu laugh. He is a man who reached the 49th level of soul sect in his 40s. How can he have the confidence to teach me, a 12-year-old soul master? What's more, is Xianyu really just a 40th level soul sect? After Ning Rongrong finished speaking, he was directly possessed by his martial soul. His martial soul is Thunder Tyrannosaurus, which is a good quality dragon martial soul. After the martial soul was possessed, his skin began to gradually appear dragon scales, dragon horns appeared on his head, and his arms turned into dragon claws, except that there were no dragon wings. I was wondering why you're called Thunder Dragon. It turns out your martial spirit is a little dragon. Let me show you what a real dragon is. Friends who like this book can vote to support it. Today is the 4th update. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28, shocking the audience. The dark soul power in Xianyu's body was activated, and a huge and handsome dark holy dragon martial spirit instantly appeared behind Xianyu, releasing the dragon power of the dark holy dragon in an instant. After the dragon power of the dark holy dragon was released, the thunder Tyrannosaurus, which was also a dragon martial spirit, knelt on the spot. Tinglong only felt that the thunder Tyrannosaurus martial spirit in his body seemed to be out of control, that is, the breath began to become disordered, and the strength was greatly reduced. People in the audience, what the hell is Tinglong doing? Why did you suddenly freeze? Quickly knock the black dragon off the field. Huh? Don't you think that the black dragon's martial spirit is super handsome? This dragon martial spirit is indeed more handsome than all the dragon martial spirits I have seen. Why haven't I seen such a handsome dragon martial spirit before? Xianyu chuckled and said, is it really just handsome? Xianyu's soul power was activated, and the dragon power of the dark holy dragon was released and directly spread to the entire audience. At this moment, the martial souls of everyone in the venue underwent changes, and their martial souls were trembling. That's right, the kind of trembling that was caused by fear. Hey, what happened to my martial soul? Why can't I control my martial soul? Mine too, my martial soul seems to be afraid. It also seems to be surrendering. What level of martial soul is this black dragon's martial soul, and why is the power of its bloodline so terrifying? Top level? No, top-level martial souls don't have such terrifying bloodline power. Could it be a god-level martial soul? God-level martial soul? How could a god-level martial soul appear in a place like ours? Xianyu said lightly, destroy it, I'm tired. Then a black soul ring floated up from his body, soul skill, dark energy killing array. As soon as Xianyu finished speaking, a bunch of black dark energy swords appeared around Tinglong, surrounding Tinglong, and then the tip of each dark energy sword was aimed at Tinglong. Tinglong was horrified and quickly activated his soul skills. A black soul ring quickly floated from his body, Thunder Dragon Tyrant Body. All attributes instantly increased by 200%, Xianyu said lightly, useless struggle. Xianyu snapped his fingers, and the dark energy sword surrounding Tinglong instantly shot at Tinglong. Tinglong's Thunder Dragon Tyrant Body, which had saved him countless times, was directly shattered by the dark energy sword. His proud fourth soul skill was as crisp as paper under Xianyu's attack. Second kill. Another second kill. In Xianyu's hands, neither of the two top soul masters could withstand a blow. Xianyu turned around again and left the field. But this time no one shouted the shady. The whole audience only cheered uncontrollably, because Xianyu's martial soul was so handsome, and his strength was so powerful and terrifying. After the game, Xianyu did not continue to match his opponent, but returned to the Supreme VIP box. As soon as Xianyu walked in, Xiao rushed over. Xiao, who was hanging in Xianyu's arms, said, brother, you looked so handsome when you were fighting on the field just now. Is that your new form? Xianyu took Xiao down from his arms and said, well, it is indeed my new form, but is it really that handsome? Xiao nodded and said, really super handsome. If you don't believe me, you can ask Rongrong. She was the most fascinated by what she saw just now. Ning Rongrong, who was standing aside, saw Xianyu looking at her, and a blush rose on her face out of embarrassment. She thought to herself, Xiao is really something. Why does she tell Xianyu everything? Zhu Zhuqing was obviously watching very intently, so why doesn't he talk about Zhu Zhuqing? Xianyu also moved closer to Ning Rongrong and said, Rongrong, is my new form when I was fighting just now really handsome? Only Xianyu could be so shameless as to ask a girl if he is handsome or not. Ning Rongrong blushed and said, well, Xianyu, your new form when you were fighting just now is really handsome. Zhu Zhuqing, don't you think so? Ning Rongrong quickly dragged Zhu Zhuqing into the water again. But Zhu Zhuqing is not a shy girl like Ning Rongrong, she is a cold goddess. Xianyu immediately came to Zhu Zhuqing and said, Zhu Zhuqing, is my new form handsome? Zhu Zhuqing just said lightly, well, very handsome. Although Zhu Zhuqing just said a few simple words, her tone lacked her unique coldness. Just a few simple words were a bolt from the blue and Imube's heart. What? Zhu Zhuqing actually praised other boys for being handsome. You know, Zhu Zhuqing has always been a cold goddess, and she doesn't want strangers to approach her. At least Zhu Zhuqing has never had such an attitude towards him. There is always a coldness in her tone when she speaks to him. No matter how much he tries to please her, Zhu Zhuqing's attitude towards him is still cold. However, Zhu Zhuqing's tone when speaking to Xianyu was less cold. This was something he had tried so hard to achieve but failed. Xianyu scratched his head pretending to be embarrassed. Haha, it turns out that Zhu Zhuqing also thinks my new form is handsome, which made me worry that you would not like me after I turned black. Tianyu knew that Zhu Zhuqing was also a poor person in the original work. In the original work, if it had not been for Tang San's help to improve her soul power, Zhu Zhuqing would have been snapped by her sister Zhu Zhuqing in the later period. And her purpose of coming to Shrek was to break her annoying family engagement by duel. As for who her engagement object was? Isn't it Daimyu Bei, who is also a royal nobleman? Although Zhu Zhuqing has a cold temperament, she is still an ordinary girl. The cold temperament and the appearance of keeping strangers away is just a way for her to protect herself. A cold temperament does not mean that you don't like boys. Maybe it's just because your charm is not enough. She also hopes to have a strong boy to protect her, not to mention that Xianyu is a person whose appearance and strength have broken through the ceiling of Douluo. Xiao Wu suddenly hugged Tianyu's arm and said, "Brother, no matter you are evil or demonic, Xiao Wu will not leave brother. You will always be the most handsome in Xiao Wu's heart." Tianyu also touched Xiao Wu's head lovingly and said, "Thank you, Xiao Wu." Damn, Tianyu, you and Xiao Wu are showing us dog food again. The single dog fatty cursed at the side. Xiao Wu stuck out her tongue and said to the fat man, "Lulu, who told you to be a single dog without a girlfriend?" Tang San, Oscar and Daimyu Bei on the side all felt offended. Because they seemed to be single dogs too. "Okay, Xiao Wu, don't be naughty." Tianyu pulled Xiao Wu, who was still going to mock the fat man for being a single dog. "By the way, Tang San, why don't you go match your opponents? Isn't the purpose of our coming out to the fighting spirit arena this time to improve our actual combat capabilities? We are watching your battle, and we thought we could learn some experience from your battle, but it turned out that we thought too much." Tang San also felt that he was too naive. "Let's go," Tang San said, and then he left the private room to match his opponent. Later, Daimyu Bei and others also left the private room one after another to match their own opponents. "By the way, Xiao Wu, why don't we go play in a double row?" Xianyu said, looking at the introduction book of the fighting spirit field in his hand. "Okay." Xiao Wu was about to say yes, but she suddenly stopped, as if she thought of something. She said again, "Brother, I still want to play in a single row by myself to improve my practical experience. After all, playing in a double row with you is really too inexperienced. I was completely led by you to win." Xiao Wu pushed Ning Rongrong in front of Xianyu, "So you should go to play in a double row with Rongrong. She is a support and can't play in a single row. I can only trouble you to lead her." After that, she went to match in a single row. Xianyu looked at the lovely girl in front of him and said, "Come on, Rongrong, I'll take you to a sweet double row." After that, Xianyu took Ning Rongrong's hand, and Ning Rongrong did not refuse, so she obediently let Xianyu take her away. Oscar was left alone in the box, feeling the cold wind. "I am also a support, why is there no pretty and strong lady to lead me into a row?" The author feels a little guilty after not updating for 2 days. Chapter 29 Sweet Duo 3 Fighting Spirit Division. The battle information on the upper screen was clearly lit up. Codename, Thousand-Handed Shiro, Soul Power, Level 29 Great Soul Master, Martial Soul, Blue Silver Grass, Rank, Bronze 0 Star vs Codename, Guima, Soul Power, Level 29 Great Soul Master, Martial Soul, Ghost Vine, Rank, Gold 1 Star. Tang San's codename is still the same as in his original work, Thousand-Handed Shura. It must be said that Tang San is quite good at naming, and his codename is obviously much more domineering than his opponent's. Tang San's opponent is a black-haired young man, probably because of his martial soul. The whole person looks gloomy. In the audience, ha, I'm dying of laughter. Is that Blue Silver Grass from the number 3 division series? A martial spirit like Blue Silver Grass can actually be cultivated to level 29, and that guy looks so young. Another newcomer who hasn't played a single game? Isn't he another dark horse that suddenly appears? Impossible, I don't believe it. Grassroots martial spirits are grassroots martial spirits. Then, you go and beat his opponent. The man who shouted that he didn't believe it shut up. Are you kidding? He almost reported to the rooftop just now. The battle on the fighting spirit field was about to break out. Tang San started with his first soul skill entanglement. Tang San and his opponent released their soul skills almost at the same time, but Tang San released his soul skill before his opponent. A yellow soul ring rose from Tang San's feet, and vines instantly emerged from Tang San's opponent's feet. It entangled him and interrupted his soul skill release. The second yellow soul ring rose from Tang San's feet, parasite. Tang San's vines that wrapped around his opponent instantly transformed into spikes that penetrated into his opponent's body and began to inject special venom. Even though Tang San's entanglement was finally broken by his opponent's second soul skill. But the parasitic seeds had already entered his body, and Tang San's opponent's soul power began to fail. Tang San began to pursue his victory, directly activating the Ghost Shadow Step. The mysterious jade hand appeared, and hit his opponent's chest with one blow, directly knocking his opponent out of the field and ending the battle. A set of combos flowed smoothly and was completed in one go. He directly killed an opponent of the same level in seconds. Although the opponent's strength was not very high quality, it was enough to prove Tang San's status among opponents of the same level. Tianyu, who was watching the battle in the audience, was watching Tang San's battle and thought to himself, it seems that Tang San's current strength is growing faster than in the original book. He is about to break through the 30th level of spirit power. Could it be that he has no women in his heart and has become a god in his cultivation? The other people in Shrek also matched their opponents. Daimyo Bei matched an opponent with the same spirit power level as him. His martial soul was the violent flame red lion, which was also a good martial soul, but his bloodline was still a little inferior to the evil-eyed white tiger. Unfortunately, he lost to Daimyo Bei. Ma Hongjin matched his opponent with a 29th level Great Spirit Master, whose spirit power level was 3 levels higher than his. His martial soul was the Thunderstorm Eagle. Although the two sides fought back and forth, Ma Hongjin still lost due to the disadvantage of spirit power. He was directly knocked off the field by the opponent's thunderstorm. It was also a rare defeat. Xiao Wu and Zhu Zhuqing each matched their opponents with girls, and easily defeated their opponents and won. Soon, Tianyu and Ning Rongrong's double battle was matched with opponents. Tianyu and his team were assigned to the 16th field, and their opponents were a pair of brothers. Because Tianyu was a level 40 Soul Master, the opponents he and Ning Rongrong were matched with were both Soul Masters in their 40s. The battle break screen of the 16th field lit up, and it showed the battle break of both sides normally. Double battle, codename, Black Dragon, Martial Soul, Dark Holy Dragon, Soul Power Level. 41st Soul Master, codename, 7 Treasure Glazed, Martial Soul, 7 Treasure Glazed Tower, Soul Power Level. 26th Great Soul Master vs codename, Flame Prison, Soul Power Level. 49th Peak Soul Master, Martial Soul, Flame Prison Demon Wolf, codename, Thunder Prison, Soul Power Level. 49th Peak Soul Master, Martial Soul, Thunder Prison Demon Wolf. When people learned that Black Dragon was matched with an opponent again, they didn't expect that Black Dragon was matched with a double battle, and the opponent matched was also a popular figure in their field, and the audience became lively again. Damn, did I see that right? That martial soul is the 7 Treasures Glazed Pagoda. Brother, you saw that right. That is the exclusive martial soul of the 7 Treasures Glazed sect, the 7 Treasures Glazed Pagoda. With that beauty and the temperament, could she be the legendary only daughter of the 7 Treasures Glazed sect? Damn, Black Dragon actually has such a relationship. Black Dragon can actually do a row with the eldest lady of the 7 Treasures Glazed sect. I'm so envious. Don't be envious yet. Look at who Black Dragon's opponent is first. Aren't they the brothers Lei Yan Shuanglang? I might have thought they were strong before, but after seeing Black Dragon's strength, I think they wouldn't be able to last more than 3 moves at Black Dragon's hands. The brothers Lei Yan Shuanglang are popular duo role players in the Soto City Fighting Spirit Arena. Almost everyone knows them. Each of them is much stronger than the previous Tyrant and Thunder Dragon. Yanai and Liu came on the stage. Yanai was a strong man with red hair. His soul power was very strong in the same realm. Liu was a strong man with blue hair. His soul power was also very strong. It was estimated that both of them were almost 40 years old. After all, Not everyone was destined to be the protagonist. It was already very strong for ordinary people to cultivate to this realm at this age. The battle was about to start. The two brothers Yanli Shuangling directly possessed their martial spirits and each turned into a 3-meter-tall strong demon wolf. They waved their claws and attacked Tianyu directly. Ning Rongrong's current level was too low and she didn't have many soul rings at all, so she put 2 rings on Tianyu and stood obediently not far behind Tianyu. Tianyu's soul power was activated, and the Dark Holy Dragon Emperor's martial spirit directly possessed him. Darkness descended, and darkness enveloped Tianyu. When Tianyu walked out of the darkness, he was already possessed by the Dark Holy Dragon Emperor. The handsome stay caused cheers from the audience. After all, no one doesn't like handsome martial spirits, just like no man doesn't like armor hero. The author is a post-Zero's generation, and armor hero is the author childhood. If you don't like it, please don't criticize. 2 purple soul rings rose from the feet of the two brothers of Lei Yan Shuanglang. The third soul skill, Flame Burst Stab. The third soul skill, Thunder Burst Slash. 1 stab and 1 slash directly attacks Tianyu in a left and right style. A black soul ring rose from Tianyu's feet. Tianyu waved his hands, and the dark energy magic fist was directly attached to his hands. Then his fists went straight to the attack of the two brothers. With 2 explosions, the two brothers flew out from the smoke. I saw that the hands of the two brothers who released their soul power each had different degrees of damage. There was even dark energy left on them, making it impossible for them to suppress their injuries with soul power. At this time, the two brothers were shocked. Yanlang said, "What kind of soul power is this? It has such a terrifying destructive power, and the energy attached to the hand cannot be removed by soul power. Is this the horror of a god-level martial soul?" Lilang said, "If it doesn't work, we will use that trick." The two brothers had heard that Tianyu's martial soul might be a god-level martial soul before, but they didn't believe it before. Now that they have fought, they know how terrifying Tianyu's martial soul is. Tianyu didn't kill the two brothers directly. Because if they were killed directly, it wouldn't be fun. 2 updates a day, please supervise the book friends. This chapter is the first update today. I was interrupted for some reasons, playing games, before. I'm sorry to the book friends who are waiting for my updates, but I will resume updating from today, and I will never be interrupted for some reasons again. The book friends can supervise me. Another thing is that some of the descriptions of the realm in the previous chapters may be written incorrectly, and the author has no time to find them again. Book friends can help find them and comment on the wrong chapters, so that I can find them and correct them. Chapter 30, Gaga Killing. Tianyu put one hand behind his back and raised his hand to the two brothers of Yanli Shuanglang in an extremely arrogant tone and said, "Go on, is this all you can do?" The hot-tempered Yanlang couldn't stand Tianyu's provocation on the spot, and was directly enraged. A black soul ring rose from under his feet, 4th soul skill, Demon Wolf Soul Killing Slash. Yanlang's hands turned into a pair of double swords, and when his 2 hands were combined, it turned directly into a Purgatory Long Sword, jumping and slashing directly at Tianyu. The red flames drew an arc in the air and slashed directly at Tianyu. Tianyu was not in a hurry. With a thought, a black long sword appeared in his hand. Tianyu held the sword with one hand and urged the soul power. Black flames instantly burned on the black long sword. Tianyu held the black long sword tightly in his hand and jumped directly into the air to chop against Yanlang's Purgatory Long Sword. The collision of 2 long swords of different colors and the collision and burning of 2 flames of different colors instantly caused a violent soul power explosion on the platform. The Purgatory Long Sword of Yanlang, which was condensed by soul power, was directly chopped into countless soul power fragments. Yanlang was blown away by the shock wave of the explosion, but just fell on the edge of the platform. At this time, Lilang's 4th soul skill had also been condensed. In an instant, a thunder that penetrated the space shot directly at Tianyu. This move was Lilang's 4th soul skill, with super high thunder element burst damage, but it took time to charge. Just now, Yanlang was charging for Lilang's big move to delay time. Tianyu looked at a super fast lightning flash coming straight at him. Tianyu just calmly put away the black long sword. Tianyu slowly raised his hand, and an invisible dark barrier instantly appeared in front of him. The violent lightning directly bombarded the barrier, but the dark barrier just calmly rippled a few times. Until the lightning was gone, the dark barrier was still fine. Such a result made the two brothers Yanli and Liling dumbfounded. The super combination they were proud of was so vulnerable in Xianyu's hands. Does this mean that in the face of absolute strength, any skills are useless? Seeing Xianyu walking towards them with a black longsword in hand, the two brothers Yanlang and Lilang were instantly scared, because they didn't have a drop of soul power, and then they quickly jumped off the platform and surrendered. The people in the audience were boiling again, and the undefeated myth of the two brothers Yanli and Lilang in double rows below level 50 was finally shattered. After the battle, Xianyu took Ning Rongrong's hand and left the field under the attention of everyone. Although Ning Rongrong was shy, she didn't let go. Xianyu and Ning Rongrong returned to the box to rest for a while and then went to continue matching opponents. Xianyu was completely killing people that night, setting a legend of 66 consecutive wins in double row, finishing a game in less than 5 minutes on average, and his rank was upgraded from bronze to purple gold. Ning Rongrong also upgraded to purple gold. Of course, Ning Rongrong got there by lying down. I believe that this night, the name Black Dragon will definitely become famous in the Daohong circle. Tang San also reached the gold rank through a series of killing and winning streaks. After all, below level 30, except for Xianyu, there are really few who can be Tang San's opponents now, mainly because Tang San's pile of hidden weapons and skills are rarely defended by people with low soul power levels. Daimube finally broke through the silver rank he had been thinking about day and night, and Fatty also broke through to the silver rank. Only Oscar, who had no one to lead him, only played one game the whole night. That was because he didn't believe in evil, and didn't believe that auxiliary soul masters couldn't play games without teammates. As a result, he was matched with an opponent of the strong attack system. There is no doubt that the result was that he was beaten up without fighting power. Now he was still lying on the bed in the box with a bruised face, chewing his own sausage to heal his wounds. The 8 people of Shrek returned to the box together. This first class tonight has improved the strength of everyone present except Xianyu. Xiao Wu has been with Xianyu all year round and has been protected by Xianyu, so she has no chance to make a move. This trip to the fighting spirit field has also improved her combat ability. The fat man sat on the sofa and shouted, "It's finally over. I can finally go back to the academy." The fat man was beaten alike tonight. Except for Xianyu and Ning Rongrong, who was lying down with Xianyu, everyone else's face was more or less tired. At this time, Flanders walked in from the door and said, "Haha, little monsters, you've worked hard tonight, but this can be regarded as a kind of tempering of your own strength. So, Dean, can we go back?" The fat man jumped out first. After all, his round body was not enough for him to support such a long battle without being tired. "Of course you can go back, so I declare that your first class is officially over. And you will have a day off to rest. Come on, Xiao, Fatty, Tang San, I'll take you to relax," Daimube said generously. "Boss Dai, I know you are the most loyal." Fatty immediately agreed. He was already very upset, but he didn't know how high Boss Dai would take him. Hearing that Daimube was going to take them to relax, Oscar instantly felt that the pain in his body was gone. Tang San was about to refuse, but Daimube put his arm around his shoulder and said, "Tang San, everyone is going, you don't want to refuse, do you?" Tang San, who was from another world, had no idea what Daimube meant by relaxation, so he foolishly agreed. He wanted to go back to the academy to practice as soon as possible. "You're not taking me." Xianyu also smiled. "Why should I take you there? Xianyu, you have a girlfriend, is it really okay for you to go to that kind of place?" Daimube didn't mind going with Xianyu, but Xiao wouldn't say anything. "I'm kidding, why would I go to that kind of place? You guys go, I have something else to do." Xianyu is indeed not the kind of person who would go to that kind of place. So funny, he didn't even pick up such a beautiful girlfriend. Why would he go to that kind of place? "She lazy?" the clever Flanders said at this time. "Xianyu, what do you mean by this?" "Of course, I want to get my 10 billion gold soul coins." "Flanders, Xianyu, I will go with you, but you have to give me half." "Hey Dean, you are so treacherous. You want 5 billion for accompanying me. What do you know? The person in charge of this fighting soul field is at least a soul saint close to Soul Douluo. If there is no strong person of the same level accompanying me, will they be easy to talk to?" "Oh? Dean, how do you know that there is no strong person with me? Are you protected by a strong person? That doesn't make sense." Unless it is a title Douluo, he can't fail to sense it. Let's talk about it when we get there. Tianyu said and turned to the top floor of the Soto City Fighting Soul Field. Flanders looked at Tianyu's confident look. Is there really a strong person protecting him? If he doesn't need to take action at that time, will he not get any gold soul coins? Seeing Tianyu leaving, Xiao Wu was not worried at all, and said to Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing, Rongrong, Zhuqing, let's go shopping in Soto City. Rongrong was also worried. Is Tianyu really okay? Xiao Wu, why do I feel that you don't worry about Tianyu at all? Don't worry, Rongrong, unless you call 100,000 title Douluo, he can't be hurt. Tianyu also arranged at least 10 or more title Douluo demons around Xiao to protect Xiao's safety in the future. Tianyu, is he really that strong? Haha, posted at 11:59, this should be considered 2 updates a day, Greek letter Omega. Chapter 31 1 billion gold soul coins. In the room on the top floor of the Soto City Fighting Soul Arena, Tianyu and the profiteer Flanders sat on the sofa. Opposite Tianyu sat a middle-aged man with an ordinary appearance, and 2 strong men stood beside him. Flanders threw the data of Daimyo's bet of 10 million gold soul coins on the table and asked, "Excuse me, how can your soul arena give us my 10 billion gold soul coins?" The middle-aged man said, "The soul arena doesn't have so many gold soul coins now. I wonder if this young master can accept the installment payment of the soul arena." Installment? That's fine. I wonder how many gold soul coins you can give me in one installment. The middle-aged man slowly stretched out a finger. Flanders beside Tianyu was surprised and said, 100 million? So little. The middle-aged man laughed and said, wrong, it's 1 million gold soul coins per period. Flanders suddenly stood up, 1 million gold soul coins per period? It will take hundreds of years for your soul field to pay back the money. Your Soto City soul field is really good. Tianyu, who had been sitting on the sofa since he entered the door, also understood. It seems that the Soto City soul field is not going to give him the gold soul coins. Originally, Tianyu was planning that if the attitude of the soul field was good, he could ask for less of the 10 billion gold soul coins and just give a little. Tianyu didn't lack this little gold soul coins. What Tianyu hated was being used by others. Since his soul field wanted to use Tianyu to open a gambling table to make money, it had to be prepared to lose money. Obviously, the Soto City soul field seemed to have only made preparations to make money, not to lose money. Then I have to teach this soul field how to do business. Seeing Flanders standing up, the middle-aged man in the fighting spirit arena also stood up, and his soul power was released in an instant. The opponent's soul power was actually on par with Flanders' soul power. In other words, the soul power level of the person in charge of the fighting spirit arena in Soto City is at least the same level as Flanders, and the 2 strong men beside him are also soul emperors above level 60. After sensing the soul power, Flanders' face changed. In terms of single combat, he was 100% sure that he could beat the opponent, but with the 2 soul emperors, the situation was different. If a fight really broke out, he might suffer. If it was the previous Flanders, he would have flown away long ago. After all, he could fly, but this time it was different. If he flew, what would Tianyu do? Although he was a little stingy, and a little stingy, he was still very responsible for the Shrek monsters. As Tianyu was a member of the Shrek monsters, Flanders naturally had to protect him. Although Tianyu said he had helpers, he didn't see anyone now, so it was hard to say whether it was true or not, so he decided to take Tianyu away first. Just when Flanders wanted to take Tianyu away, Tianyu spoke. Since the attitude of the noble soul field is so bad, then I don't need to pretend to be a gentleman. Come out. In an instant, a black mist suddenly appeared behind the person in charge of the soul field, and then a tall figure appeared behind the person in charge. The person in charge of the soul field only felt his neck tighten, and his throat of fate was instantly strangled, and the 2 soul emperors beside him also fell to the ground instantly. From the reflection in the mirror, he saw what was strangling his throat. It was a figure with a very slender body. He couldn't see his face. He only felt that his whole body was covered by a layer of black mist, and a long arm with claws was placed on his throat. And he could feel that the breath emitted by the thing behind him was above Super Douluo. My whole body is now soaked with cold sweat, which probably means that he is scared to death now. Just as he was desperately waiting for death, the figure suddenly disappeared. He just felt that the claws that were strangling his fate were finally put down from his neck. He collapsed on the ground. Looking at Tianyu, who was sitting opposite him with a smile on his face, he felt that Tianyu was a demon at this time. Tianyu looked at the guy who collapsed on the ground and was speechless. He just wanted to scare him. How could he be scared silly by accident? The owner of the fighting spirit field also came back to his senses and knew that he was not dead. He knew that he was not an illusion, but real. The two men lying on the ground next to him were the best proof. At this time, he looked at Tianyu in horror again and said, "Young master, I will prepare the gold soul coins for you now. Please don't kill me." Tianyu sat on the sofa and waved his hand impatiently. "Oh? It turns out that you are not stupid. Then hurry up, I'm in a hurry." Okay. Then he got up from the ground tremblingly and went to prepare the gold soul coins for Tianyu. At the entrance of the Soto City Fighting Soul Arena, Tianyu walked out of the entrance slowly, holding a card with 1 billion gold soul coins in his hand. There was really no way. The Soto City Fighting Soul Arena was too poor. After all, it was a branch arena, not a main arena. It took all the money to come up with 1 billion gold soul coins. The headquarters of the Fighting Soul Arena is in Xiandao City, the capital of the Xiandao Empire. It is estimated that it will be very rich. Or, forget it, just teach them a lesson. If you go to mess with their headquarters again, is this okay? This is not good. And Tianyu is not so idle. Dean, here. Tianyu handed a card to Flanders. Flanders took the card and used his soul power to check the amount of gold soul coins in the card. After reading it, I wiped it out. He could not earn so many gold soul coins in his lifetime. In fact, with his soul sync cultivation, if he did something bad, it would not be difficult to earn so many gold soul coins. But although he is poor, he is a principled poor man who will not lose his humanity because of money. This kind of poverty deserves respect. So much? Did you give the wrong card? No, the extra money is my donation to the academy. The reason why Flanders loves money so much is also for Shrek Academy. Otherwise, soul masters at his level generally have no interest in money. Well, okay. Anyway, you are not short of money, but I still have to thank you. By the way, who is the person who appeared behind that person just now? Why do I feel like dying just by looking at him? Oh, nothing, that's my little brother. Sorry for scaring you. Tianyu said calmly. Little brother? Isn't that the master sent by your family? That's the title Douluo. He is my little brother, don't believe it. Seeing Tianyu's look, Flanders was a little suspicious. Could it be that the powerful title Douluo was really his little brother as a soul master? If Tianyu knew what Flanders was thinking at this time, he would probably tell him with a smile, I have hundreds of little brothers like this. Chapter 32 Auction. I got the news that there will be an auction at the Soto City Auction House tonight. Tianyu, are you going? Flanders asked Tianyu. Go ahead, call Boss Dai and Tang San and the others. How can I not spend money when I have money? I seem to have always been rich. At night, Soto City Auction House. In the VIP box. Brother, why did you want to come to the auction house today? Don't you like these things? I want to see if there are any items that are helpful for cultivation. I want to buy them and give them as gifts to everyone. Time passed slowly, and the auction in Soto City finally opened. As the auction began, the scene suddenly became silent. Everyone stopped talking and stared at the center of the auction. In the center of the treasure pavilion, a beautiful middle-aged young woman slowly walked out. Her skin was white and glowing with an alluring luster. A charming smile appeared on her face. She said with a smile, I believe all the guests can't wait any longer, right? The auction officially begins now. Because there are many items in this auction, please place your bids as soon as possible. The starting price of each item is 1,000 gold soul coins, and each increase in price must not be less than 100. The auction begins now. As the beautiful woman finished speaking, items were lifted up from the backstage of the auction, all covered by red curtains. These things have no attraction to the forces in the box, but for those ordinary forces, they are good things. Suddenly, the atmosphere below was hot, and everyone was competing fiercely. The first item was a low-level soul weapon in the shape of a two-handed sword. Although it was a low-level soul weapon, for a low-level soul master, it was already the best weapon he could use. The final auction price of the first soul weapon surprised Tang San, who was standing next to him, because the final transaction price of this soul weapon used by a low-level soul master was a full 2,000 gold soul coins, which surprised him a little. The auction prices that came one after another made him stunned, because the effects of these soul weapons were very low. It can be said that they were garbage compared to the hidden weapons he made, but they could be sold at a very high price. This made him seem to have found a way to make money. Tianyu was bored and watched the junk items being carried out of the auction house one by one. This was also the reason why Tianyu had money but didn't like to come to the auction house, because there was nothing he liked at all. Just when Tianyu thought that there would be no good stuff in this auction, the beautiful woman on the stage said, "The next few items to be auctioned will be the most precious auction items that have appeared in the auction house in recent years. We call them red items. The starting price is more than 100,000 gold soul coins, and each bid is not less than 10,000 gold soul coins." After the beautiful young woman finished speaking, a staff member lifted out an object covered by a black cloth. The black cloth was removed, revealing a pair of silver white hand guards in claw-shaped soul weapons, which exuded special silver patterns. The whole hand guard was forged from a special golden metal material. Seeing that there were good items, Tianyu also became excited and thought to himself, "High-level soul weapon? It is a rare handguard type soul weapon, and it is a perfect match for a strong attacking soul master. This soul weapon should be quite suitable for Daimyo Bei." Tianyu did not bid first, but watched the people in other boxes bidding desperately for this soul weapon. 500,000 gold soul coins. The person in box number 11 bid 1 million gold soul coins. The person in box number 13 bid 1.5 million gold soul coins. The person in box number 17 bid 2.5 million gold soul coins. The person in box number 7 bid. Tianyu was also a little surprised. This thing seemed to be quite valuable. There were so many people bidding. In just a short while, the price of the item had increased so many times. 3 million gold soul coins. At this time, a voice sounded, and no one in the audience bid instantly. But this voice sounded beside Tianyu, Daimyo Bei? The person who bid was Daimyo Bei. That's right, Daimyo Bei himself also took a fancy to this pair of handguard-shaped soul weapons. Tianyu originally planned to take a picture of it and give it to him. Unexpectedly, he started bidding himself. After the beautiful young woman on the stage knocked twice with a hammer in her hand, when everyone in the venue thought that the item was going to fall into Daimyo Bei's hands, an arrogant voice sounded, 5 million gold soul coins. After this bid was made, no one bid again for dozens of seconds. Just after the beautiful woman on the stage knocked the hammer for the second time, the voice sounded again, and in an extremely arrogant tone, "A bunch of poor bastards." As soon as this voice sounded, people in several boxes in the venue were shocked. Because this voice is too familiar to those who have been in the auction house for many years. This man is called Ma Shensheng, the son of the richest city lord. He has been relying on his father's little money for many years to be domineering in various large and small auctions. He dares not say a word when he meets a big shot. When there is no big shot, he's extremely arrogant in the venue. Anyone who can't bid higher than him will be ridiculed by him. Many people want to beat him to death, but unfortunately he has a good father who arranges a master of the Soul Emperor realm beside him. As mentioned earlier, he won't provoke the big shots, so the big shots are too lazy to click him. Some small shots want to deal with him, but their strength is not as strong as the Soul Emperor next to him, so they can't afford to provoke him. They can only hold it in. Hearing the two words poor BTCH, Tianyu seemed to think of something. The grass on the grave of the person who scolded him like this last time was estimated to be 2 meters high. As for when it was, Tianyu has a bad memory. Can any big shot help me think about it? Looking at Daimyo Bei, who is clenching his fists unwillingly, Tianyu also understood that this guy probably had no money. But he really wanted that Horcrux. After all, if he missed it, it would be difficult to find a suitable Horcrux next time. Yes, Tianyu really guessed it right. Daimyo Bei really had no money. Although he had a gold card with 50 million gold soul coins, it was also taken from his family. When he took it out at the beginning, there was not much money in it. In addition, he had spent almost all of it over the years. It was too much of a stretch to take out 3 million gold soul coins. If he could inherit the throne, he would be able to bear this kind of humiliation and would be able to kill that guy with money. Tianyu said slowly, 10 million gold soul coins. Daimyo looked at Xianyu, and Xianyu also looked at Daimyo. Daimyo instantly knew that Xianyu was bidding for him. Just when Daimyo wanted to say thank you, Xianyu said, "No need to thank me, I just simply don't like that idiot." Chapter 33 Zhu Zhuqing's Favorability Plus. In a VIP box, a young man with a face full of anger said coldly, "Check the information of that person for me. He dares to take my things. He is simply looking for death. I want to see how capable he is." After saying that, he rubbed the charming woman in his arms. A middle-aged man in a black robe beside him said, "Okay, young master. Humph. You can't waste gold soul coins in such a place at the moment. After all, you have a mission tonight. I'll let you bid. I received news that there will be 2 top-grade soul tools tonight. When you don't have soul coins, see how you will compete with me." Sure enough, the young master Ma didn't bid again. After swiping the card, the staff also sent the high-grade soul tool handguard to Xianyu's box. As soon as he got the handguard, Xianyu gave it to Daimyo. "Xianyu, thank you." Xianyu waved his hand and said, "We are all brothers. Don't be polite. It's a compensation for hurting you when we first met." "Okay." Daimyo didn't be polite to Xianyu. After all, Xianyu also said that we are all brothers. The second red item was a high-level spear soul weapon, which was bought by Xianyu for 10 million gold soul coins and given to Tang San. The third red item was a high-level sword soul weapon, which was bought by Xianyu for 10 million gold soul coins and given to Oscar. Oscar, an auxiliary soul master, lacked the ability to protect himself, and he could even be killed by a close opponent. This sword could make up for his lack of attack power. The fourth red item was a light armor, which was given to Fatty. Fatty's burst damage was enough, and he just needed to stack defense. Just when everyone thought the auction was over, the beautiful young woman on the stage did not leave, but continued to say, "Dear guests, please don't leave yet. We still have 2 hidden items in our auction house tonight." "Oh? This auction house actually hides good things. That's fine. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing haven't sent gifts tonight. Only people like Xianyu who don't come to auctions often don't know the characteristics of the Soto City auction. That is, they like to save the best items until the end and then take them out for auction, also known as hidden items. To put it bluntly, it is to whet people's appetite, so that people who come to the auction house almost always bring enough gold soul coins. After all, no one wants to miss the hidden items, because hidden items have never appeared in parallel imports. They are all genuine treasures." The beautiful woman on the stage lifted the curtain of the first hidden item, revealing a pair of beautiful female boots soul weapon. The name of this item is Shadow Glazed Crystal Boots, which is a top-grade soul weapon specially made for female soul masters. The speed of soul masters wearing it is increased by at least 200%. The wear speed bonus of the agility attack system soul master can reach 400%. It is an extremely rare top-grade soul weapon. Top-grade soul weapon? It seems that in the mortal world, the rarest thing besides the divine weapon is the top-grade soul weapon, and each top-grade soul weapon has a very good bonus to the soul master. This is just suitable for Zhu Zhuqing. When Tianyu wanted to add 100 million in one breath, the annoying voice took the lead and shouted, 50 million gold soul coins. Tianyu did not continue to raise the price, but wanted to see how much this fat man could show off. After half a minute, no one bid, and Ma Dongxi started to float again, and mocked loudly, "Poor ghost, you have no money, so I let you pretend to be cool in front, and you still want to compete with this young master for the auction item. You are a fart. A bunch of poor ghosts." Hearing his arrogant mockery, everyone in Tianyu's box was also very angry. Xiao Wu said, "Brother, that guy is so arrogant. I really want to beat him up." Xiao Wu, add one of us. Not only Xianyu and the others wanted to beat him up, but everyone in the auction hall wanted to beat him up. After all, this fat guy was so hateful. The people present were considered rich in the empire, so why were they poor ghosts in his eyes? There were many people richer than him in the mainland, but there were really few who were as arrogant and hated as him. Xianyu couldn't stand his constant chattering, so he raised his hand and said, 100 million gold soul coins. What? How do you still have extra gold soul coins? You spent at least 50 million gold soul coins in the previous auctions. I don't believe you still have gold soul coins. Official. Where is the official? I asked to check if he has so many gold soul coins to participate in the bidding. I suspect he bid maliciously. The people in the other boxes were speechless. Is this the stupid son of the landlord? Is he so brainless? Even if he was anxious, he shouldn't shout there. You are allowed to have money, but others can't? Isn't this deep well ice? After review, the guests in VIP box number 1 have enough assets to bid for this auction item. I said that people who can sit in VIP box number 1 don't look like people who are short of money. It seems that this fat guy has met a big shot this time. The other guests in the box also began to discuss Tianyu, guessing Tianyu's identity, and some were scolding Ma Shunchang for being an idiot. Ma Shunchang also became furious and shouted, "I'll give 150 million gold soul coins." Tianyu liked to see his frustrated expression as if he had eaten shit. Then he said lightly, 300 million. Ma Shunchang's chest rose and fell, and the whole person was about to explode. Just when he was about to continue to follow without thinking, the middle-aged man in black robe beside him reminded, "Young master, remember our mission this time." The middle-aged man in black robe was speechless in his heart. He was really unlucky to have such a brainless thing. Yes, our target this time is not this top-grade Horcrux, but the next top-grade Horcrux. Thank you for your reminder, Uncle Hey. The middle-aged man was speechless and cursed in his heart, this idiot. Ma Shunchang did not continue to follow, and the top-grade Horcrux was naturally obtained by Tianyu. After getting the shadow-colored glass crystal boots, Tianyu gave it to Zhu Zhuqing as soon as possible. Seeing Tianyu handing over the space ring containing the shadow-colored glass crystal boots, Zhu Zhuqing also accepted it directly, instead of pretending to be noble like some hypocritical girls, and Zhu Zhuqing is not such a girl. In fact, 300 million gold soul coins are really just a drop in the bucket in Zhu Zhuqing's family, and there are many top-grade Horcruxes. After all, it is a royal family, but the tragedy is that she has a sister who has always wanted to kill her. Cruel royal family struggle. Book friends can learn about the story of Zhu Zhuqing and her sister. It seems that Zhu Zhuqing is also very good-looking, thank you, Tianyu. Although Zhu Zhuqing did not show it, she was still very warm in her heart. After all, in her family without any family affection, no one has ever cared about her, so she made her appearance look cold to protect herself. Here is a popular science. In order to avoid losing the power struggle between brothers and sisters, Zhu Zhuqing's family stipulated that the strongest one before adulthood can survive to inherit the family, and the families of others will kill them, so her sister would kill her by any means. The same is true for Daimyubei's family. His brother also wanted to kill him by any means. Maybe some places are wrong. Tianyu suddenly showed a gentle smile and said, "You're welcome, because we are forever partners." Seeing Tianyu's smile, it was hard not to be moved. Zhu Zhuqing's face also blushed, but it soon disappeared and she returned to her former cold goddess appearance. Everyone in Shrek must have seen Zhu Zhuqing blushing. Daimyubei's heart was broken. Oscar and Fatty were even more shocked. They didn't expect their goddess Zhuqing to blush. It was all because of Tianyu, the bastard. Ning Rongrong seemed to be thinking about something. Xiao Wu put her hand on Tianyu's waist. Tianyu also dodged quickly, thinking in his heart, Zhu Zhuqing, the cold goddess with a cold exterior and a warm heart, has to be conquered step by step. It's only a matter of time. After all, she also likes this strong girl. Chapter 34. Some thoughts from the author. These are some words I want to say to my readers. I want to thank my book friends who have supported me since I started writing the book. Thank you very much. Without your initial support, this book would not have come this far, but it would have stopped updating long ago. Many people ask why the author always stops updating. In fact, the author myself does not want to do so, because writing a book is really not a simple thing. A chapter of a book that you can read in 30 seconds takes 2 or 3 hours to write in the hands of new authors like us. 2 updates a day means 6 hours, and 3 updates means 9 hours. I have said before that I am just a student. Apart from attending classes every day, I only have a few hours left to write. In addition, sometimes I have no inspiration and it takes 4 hours to write a chapter. I am just a new writer, not those great writers who write super fast and have more inspiration. I don't have an income like those great writers, who start with 8 or 9,000 or tens of thousands a month. I have been writing novels for a month, but my daily income is only a few dollars a day. Authors also need tuition fees to study. The money I earn is simply incomparable to the weekly expenses of school. I am just generating electricity for love. In order to write a novel, I gave up the time to play games with my roommates. I just held a tablet and wrote all day. The author is also at the age of loving games the most. It can be said that he is a complete game maniac. His obsession and love for games are even more crazy. But even so, I still quit playing games and concentrate on writing novels. The author has been emphasizing in the first few chapters that I am a new author, but I still can't avoid being criticized by some book friends for being brainless, low intelligence, novice, and water-written. I think the most important thing about reading a novel is to have fun, not to read it with emotions. What's wrong with being brainless? What's wrong with being low intelligence? What's wrong with being a novice? Just be happy. These are not the most psychological. The most psychological is that they are disgustingly low-starred. There are really all kinds of reasons for low-starring. Some people say that the name of the protagonist's martial soul is too long, very middle school and very idiotic. Really, I am speechless. I really doubt whether the person who gave me low stars really read the back. They gave me low stars. The name of the protagonist's martial soul was a little longer when it was awakened. When it appeared in the later chapters, it was basically simplified, that is, 1 or 2 words were added to the original martial soul. At the beginning, there were many book friends who said that the author's martial soul name was second-rate, but those were not said under the book reviews. The author thinks these readers are really cute, and I have interacted with them in a friendly manner. But some people are not human beings. They ran to the book reviews to give low stars and said some words. Anyway, they just want the author to change the name of the martial soul. I really don't understand. Why should I change the name of the martial soul for you? Do you have such a big face? Isn't the long name of the martial soul one of the characteristics of this book? Will I change the name of the martial soul for your opinion? What about other book friends who like long names? Anyway, the martial soul name will not be shortened, because this is the characteristic of this book. I know that book friends who really like this book will not mind a few martial soul names. There are also some who maliciously give 1 star. A woman, who doesn't read the female channel, came to read the male channel and click into my book. I don't know if she read it or not. Anyway, she gave a 1 star and then left without saying anything. I even asked her humbly, is there anything about my book that made you dissatisfied? If you tell me, I can change it. In the end, he didn't say anything. After all, this was the first time I was given 1 star. In fact, I was not angry. What made me angry was that he came back a week later and gave me another 1 star. I couldn't help it at that time. I didn't know how I offended her, so I directly criticized her. Anyway, if I don't criticize this kind of person, she will come back to give me 1 star in a few days. 1 star is really hurtful. There is another weirdo. When I first wrote this book, he gave it 5 stars and said a lot of hilarious things about torturing Tang San. Tang San may be an important character in other books, but in my book he is just an ordinary supporting role. The reason he gave me 1 star was because I didn't write about standing on the side of the spirit hall and didn't write about torturing Tang San. Then he turned his face and didn't recognize me. He gave me 1 star directly. I didn't spoil him as an author, and I criticized him directly. Tang San Guran is not a good person, but a virtual character is not worth you to be obsessed with him in real life. There is no need. Really, just go to his homepage. He is completely obsessed. There are really many weird reasons. The author has to go to class, so I will post these weird things next time. I know that 99.9% of my book friends are cute. In my eyes, the book friends who support my book and comment are the cutest. After all, this is a white text, not a dark text. There will be no devils and snakes in the comments. On the contrary, there are some book friends who are younger than the author in my book reviews. The author said this to let the book friends understand the author's usual coding situation and difficulties. The book will continue to work hard to update in the future. It may be slower and less, but I will still work hard to update it. After all, Xianyu's story is just so far now, and Xianyu still has so many harems to collect. How can it end? Come on, everyone. You are my motivation to keep writing. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35 Chapter 34 Colorful Glazed Crystal Chain. The next item to be auctioned will be the last hidden item tonight. It is also the most precious item tonight. The beautiful woman unveiled the last red cloth, and a colorful light burst out directly from it. When the colorful light dissipated, a dazzling crystal necklace was revealed. The beautiful woman also began to introduce this soul weapon. This soul weapon is called the 7-colored glazed crystal chain. It is a top-grade soul weapon obtained by a Soul Master adventure team from a secret realm. This soul weapon has no attack effect, but the 7-colored glazed crystal chain has a special skill, which is to enable the wearer to obtain a crystal shield that can resist any high elemental damage. The ultimate skill, the 7-colored holy shield, can even resist one fatal damage. After testing, the 7-colored holy shield is not a one-time skill. After being broken, it will be regenerated after a certain period of time. P.S. The 7-colored holy shield can withstand a fatal blow, including the attack of the title Douluo. After Tianyu heard the introduction of this item, he began to doubt it a little, and then called out the system in his mind and said, "Is the introduction of this item true?" Ling. Host, the introduction of this item is indeed true. This soul weapon can be upgraded again by the system. Note, this item is not a product of Douluo Continent. It's okay if it's true. The main reason is that Tianyu didn't believe that this level of soul weapon would appear on the mainland at first, but the system said that it was not something from the mainland, so it made sense. As for the last sentence of the system, Tianyu was not worried at all, because even he himself was not a product of the mainland, so there was nothing to be surprised or worried about. It was like a god coming, just destroy it. This necklace soul weapon is pretty good looking. It will definitely look better when worn on Rongrong's neck. Tianyu thought to himself, just when he was about to bid. That annoying voice sounded again. This young master offers 500 million gold soul coins. Seeing that Tianyu didn't say anything after half a minute, he started to act stupid again. Ha ha ha, stupid guy has no money, weren't you very awesome just now? What's wrong? Why don't you say anything? Poor bitch is poor bitch, and you still want to compete with this young master for the auction item. Tianyu was already annoyed by the stupid thing, so he directly offered a price that he couldn't afford to make him shut up. Tianyu slowly said, 1 billion gold soul coins. Young Master Ma in the box was dumbfounded again. He thought Tianyu had no gold soul coins left and thought 500 million gold soul coins were enough to suppress him. As a result, Tianyu's 1 billion gold soul coins scared him directly. 500 million was all the gold soul coins his family gave him to bid. His family ordered him to take the last item, otherwise he would be punished when he returned. He knew that he would be miserable when he returned. What he didn't know was that on his way back, a black shadow would follow him back to his family. Bring back a surprise for his family. Tianyu knew that the auction had not ended yet, because there were a total of 5 VIP boxes in the auction hall, and the people in 3 of the VIP boxes had not made any bids from the beginning to the end. There will be news that the best items will appear in the auction in Soto City tonight, and some large and small families will definitely receive news that the auction hall is located at the headquarters of Xiandao City. Even some big forces have already known the details of the auction items, and they have sent people to bid. They did not bid for the previous items because they did not receive the order. The order they received was to wait for the last item to appear. Then they would take the item. As expected, within a few seconds after Tianyu made the bid, the people in VIP box number 4 made a bid. 1.1 billion gold soul coins. 1.3 billion gold soul coins. The people in box number 3 also made a bid. 1.5 billion gold soul coins. The people in box number 4 bid again. 1.6 billion gold soul coins. The people in box number 3 bid again. 1.7 billion gold soul coins. 1.8 billion gold soul coins. 1.9 billion gold soul coins. The number of bids with numbers added at the end was also decreasing, and finally stopped at 2 billion gold soul coins offered by box number 3. Just when the people in the ordinary boxes thought that this should be the final price of the 7-color necklace, the person in box 2 seemed to have had enough of the show, and directly said, 2.5 billion gold soul coins. The people in the boxes below the stage. Oh my god, which big sect is this person from? I don't know, but he must be from the upper 3 sects, otherwise he wouldn't have such great financial resources. It's really possible. After all, apart from the Spirit Hall, the richest forces are the upper 3 sects. And the richest of the upper 3 sects is the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect. Huh? Why does the voice of the person in box 2 sound a little familiar? Ning Rongrong, who was sitting next to Tianyu, said. Rongrong, are you sure you didn't hear it wrong? Xiao said. Rongrong, what if he is really from your 7 treasures glazed tile sect? After all, your 7 treasures glazed tile sect is really rich. Daimube said. Daimube was really right. Apart from the Spirit Hall, the only force that could easily take out billions of gold soul coins was the 7 treasures glazed tile sect. Even for their royal family, it is not an easy task to easily take out billions of gold soul coins. After all, the 7 treasures glazed tile sect is truly rich enough to rival a country. Not to mention the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex and the half-crippled Haitian sect, Tianyu, who cares who he is? I won't be polite to him anyway. Then Tianyu directly offered 3 billion gold soul coins. In box number 2. Hearing Tianyu's offer, a middle-aged man who was drinking tea almost spit out the tea in his mouth. The middle-aged man cursed, "You sound so young, which force is this stupid kid from?" As he spoke, the powerful soul power in his body seemed to be leaking out. Sitting opposite him was a middle-aged man with white hair and a celestial appearance. He said, "Are you sure your parents won't spank you when you go back?" Tianyu, who dares to spank me? The elegant middle-aged man in the middle said, "Uncle Gu, you can't lose your composure over some small issues. Just keep bidding. Our sect is not short of money." The middle-aged man named Uncle Gu also calmed down and continued to bid, 3.1 billion gold soul coins. Seeing that Tianyu didn't bid for a long time, the people in box 2 thought that Tianyu had no money. Suddenly, a lazy voice slowly floated out from box 1, 4 billion gold soul coins. Why didn't Tianyu bid immediately just now? Because the system suddenly prompted that there were 2 titled Douluo of Super Douluo level in box 2. 2 titled Douluo? I robbed their auction items. Will they come to kill people and rob them later? Wait. Why am I still a little excited? In box 2. The middle-aged man named Uncle Long almost squeezed the teacup in his hand and said, "Fuck." The elegant middle-aged man sitting in the middle also twitched his eyebrows. Although their sect is rich, it does not mean that they can give money to others casually. At this time, the administrator of the auction house probably laughed so hard that his mouth cracked, because the Horcrux originally estimated at 2 billion gold soul coins was actually called out for 4 billion gold soul coins. How could he not laugh? Chapter 36-7 Killing Swordbone Dragon. Master, shall we follow? The elegant middle-aged man exhaled softly and said, "Let's follow. After all, it's a gift for Rongrong. 4.1 billion gold soul coins." Although the middle-aged man named Uncle Long bid again, his initial confidence was gone. Tianyu saw them bid again, and he also showed a wicked smile, and then continued to bid, 5 billion gold soul coins. After bidding, Tianyu thought to himself, "Do the people in box number 2 want to beat me to death now?" Tianyu really guessed right. At this time, in box number 2. "Little Jianjian, don't stop me. I'm going to beat that brat to death. Little Bone, calm down, don't lose the demeanor of our great sect." Jian Douluo stopped Bone Douluo, who was about to beat Tianyu, and said, "Master, say something." The elegant middle-aged man said, "Okay, Uncle Jian, Uncle Bone, let's go meet that young man and see if we can discuss it. After all, this is a gift we want to give to Rongrong." In the backstage, Tianyu threw a few supreme purple gold cards to the boss of the auction house, who was grinning from ear to ear, and then took the space spirit world containing the colorful glass crystal chain. Tianyu gave it to Ning Rongrong as soon as he got it. Tianyu came to Ning Rongrong and handed it to Ning Rongrong, who was chatting with Xiao Wu, saying, "Rongrong's gift to you." Ning Rongrong certainly knew what was inside, and also knew that this thing was quite valuable. It is estimated that the total assets of some sects are not even 4 billion gold soul coins. But what she didn't expect was that Tianyu took the picture for her. Ning Rongrong knew Tianyu's personality, so she didn't refuse. Besides, she also liked this necklace very much, mainly because it was given by Tianyu, so she liked it. Ning Rongrong passed the necklace over and said thank you with a slightly red face. "Rongrong, try it on and have a look." "Yes, okay." Ning Rongrong nodded gently, and then summoned the colorful glass crystal necklace from the space ring. The moment the colorful glass crystal came out, it automatically recognized its owner, floated directly to Ning Rongrong's neck and automatically put it on. The moment Ning Rongrong put on the necklace, her temperament changed instantly, and she had a special temperament on her body, looking like a colorful saint from the god realm. Daimyo Bei, Fatty, Oscar and others were stunned. Although Tang San didn't lose his composure, he had some thoughts in his mind, but they soon disappeared. Oscar was the most exaggerated, drooling. Why does the effect of the necklace work like this? Of course, it is the effect after being handled by Tianyu. Just now, after Tianyu took over the space spirit world, he upgraded the necklace in the system. The top quality necklace was directly upgraded to god level quality. Of course, the effect is not as simple as it seems. After the upgrade, the 7-color glazed crystal chain, passive effect 1, improves the wearer's appearance and temperament. The longer it is worn, the more obvious the improvement. Effect 2, improves the cultivation speed, which increases the wearer's cultivation speed by 10 times. Effect 2, increases one's own soul power by 100%. The strength and capacity of one's own soul power. Effect 3, it can automatically generate 7 colors of energy shields. The 7 colors correspond to 7 elements of damage. The ultimate shield, the 7-color glazed crystal shield, can be immune to 1 element of damage and physical damage. A 7-color glazed crystal shield can only resist 1 fatal attack, CD. 1 minute. This upgraded attribute can be said to kill most artifacts in seconds. Here is an explanation. This artifact is not that artifact, brother, you are so biased. You actually gave a gift to Rongrong, but forgot to give a gift to your lovely Xiao Wu. Ah. Xiao Wu, I'm sorry. Tianyu said to Xiao Wu with an apologetic look. Looking at Tianyu's pitiful look, Xiao Wu also felt funny, so she stood on tiptoe and touched Tianyu's head, and said, okay, I'm not angry. For me, meeting you in this life is the best gift from God to me. In fact, Tianyu and Xiao have been together for so many years, and he has given Xiao many artifacts that are not inferior to the 7-color glazed crystal chain. At this time, Xiao can be said to be dressed in a divine outfit, but Xiao usually prefers to be low-key and does not show it. Author's short story, there was a lovely girl who also liked to stand on tiptoe and touch my head. She was my first love, but unfortunately I failed her in the end. Daimyo Bei and the others were watching with dark faces. Tianyu is such a jerk. Just as Tianyu and the others were about to return to the academy, a strong soul power came from a distance. Flanders sensed the soul power fluctuations and was shocked. Titled Douluo? And there are 2 of them. Are they trying to kill people and rob? Tianyu. Flanders was about to remind Tianyu, but was interrupted by Tianyu. Tianyu said to Flanders calmly, what are you panicking about? You are useless. Flanders looked at Tianyu with a dark face, thinking in his heart, this kid is too confident, and he just called me useless. In less than 10 seconds, 3 figures tore through the space and appeared in front of Tianyu and the others. The handsome appearance made Daimyo Bei and the fat man dumbfounded. At this time, Tianyu's favorite voice also appeared in his mind. Ling. The top martial spirit 7 killing sword is detected. Target, Chen Xin. Host, do you want to choose to perform Super God Evolution and re-engraving, Ling? The top martial spirit bone dragon is detected. Target, Gu Rong. Host, do you want to choose to perform Super God Evolution and re-engraving, re-engraving? Ding. The martial spirit has been re-engraved and has been stored in the system warehouse. Father. Grandpa Jian, Grandpa Gu. Seeing the 3 people who suddenly appeared, Ning Rongrong was also very shocked, because she ran away from home this time and thought that Ning Fengzi and the others were here to take her home, so she was a little panicked at this time. She didn't want to leave Tianyu, Xiao and the others yet. Ning Fengzi, girl. Sword Douluo, little princess. Bone Douluo, little witch. Little princess, why are you with this kid? Bone Douluo pointed at Tianyu and said. Ning Rongrong hurriedly explained, his name is Tianyu, he is my classmate, Grandpa Gu. Tianyu is a very good person, not a bad person. Ning Fengzi and Sword Douluo on the side had already been watching the situation of using soul power to test Tianyu. After seeing Tianyu's situation, Jian Douluo was shocked in his heart. 12 years old? Level 41 soul sect? Which force's genius has escaped? Ning Fengzi was as shocked as Jian Douluo, thinking, he is so powerful at such a young age, and he has so many gold soul coins. Could it be that the son of the spirit hall has escaped? I remember that the spirit hall seems to have only saint daughters, but no sons in this generation? Then which force is he a genius from? Rongrong seems to treat him very well. As the father of this little witch, he has never seen her treat any boy so well. The main reason is that the boy in front of him is too calm now. You know, standing in front of him is a soul saint and two super Douluos. It is in sharp contrast with the little guys next to him. This can't be blamed on Ning Fengzi for making a fuss. In the common people's cognition, it is difficult to grow up quickly without the training and teaching of a big force. It can be barely explained that he is a self-taught talent. But the gold soul coins are completely unexplainable. Could it be that they fell from the sky? In addition, Tianyu's performance was too calm. It didn't look like he was seeing a title Douluo for the first time. It seemed that title Douluo was the same as an ordinary spirit master in his eyes. You know, Ning Fengzi and the others were in a hurry when they came. The aura on their bodies had not been lifted yet. The powerful spirit force pressed Tianyu, Tang San and others so hard that they couldn't stand steadily. Even Flanders, who had recognized Ning Fengzi and the others, was a little breathless under the pressure of this urgent spirit force. Did you hear the ending of the previous chapter? The society is dead, the society is dead. Chapter 37 Power. Okay, Grandpa Gu, Grandpa Jian, please hold back your spirit power. My classmates are about to die. Ning Rongrong urged the fat man who rolled his eyes. Oh, okay. Only then did Gu Douluo and the others react. Their spirit power was being released. Since Tianyu and the others were the classmates of their little princess, there should be no problem. They also quickly held back their momentum. The surging spirit power instantly stopped overflowing like a faucet with the gate turned off, and became calm. After the pressure disappeared, Tianyu and the others also breathed a sigh of relief. Even Tang San, the most arrogant among them, was sweating profusely. After all, this was the first time he faced the pressure of a title Douluo. Tianyu realized that Fatty had foamed at the mouth and passed out, and hurriedly shouted, "Xiao, Tang San, give Fatty artificial respiration quickly." What? I don't want to give Fatty artificial respiration. If anyone wants to do it, it should be you, Boss Dai. The two of them kept refusing each other, and they almost fought over who should give Fatty artificial respiration, and finally it was Ning Fengzi who put a spirit ring on Fatty, and Fatty woke up. Ahem. Standing like this is not a good idea. Sect Master Ning, let's find a place to sit down. Flanders said, adjusting his slightly crooked black-framed glasses. Ning Fengzi also turned his eyes away from Tianyu, and then everyone came to tea house. In the tea house room, Ning Rongrong sat next to Tianyu, and Ning Fengzi sat opposite Tianyu, looking at Tianyu with a look of satisfaction. Looking at Tianyu with a confused face, Tianyu thought to himself, why does this look so much like he is choosing a son-in-law? Did he see Xiao next to me? Or does Sect Master Ning not care that his daughter has the same boyfriend as someone else? Tianyu, who is your father? In Ning Fengzi's mind, Tianyu is a genius of a certain force. I don't have parents. Tianyu also said very directly. In this world, he does not have parents, but in his previous life, Tianyu must have parents and family. Even after so many years, he still misses his family in Blue Star, but he was indeed alone in the first few years of coming to Douluo World. Later, he met Xiao Wu, and now he has regarded Xiao Wu as his closest person. Ning Fengzi apologized and said, I'm sorry, Tianyu. I reminded you of bad things. It's okay, Sect Master Ning, I'm used to it after so many years, but I still have a sister. Tianyu introduced Xiao to Ning Fengzi after saying that. Ning Fengzi looked at this girl who was a little prettier than her daughter, and was secretly surprised. After all, Tianyu and Xiao were both so outstanding, both in appearance and strength. Which sect do you belong to, Tianyu? Ning Fengzi was indeed a little too eager to know the sect behind Tianyu. After all, he also wanted to know what kind of sect could cultivate a genius like Tianyu. Tianyu thought for a while and said, Tianyu Demon Palace. It's called Demon Palace for short. Anyway, he would have to create a power in the future, so he might as well think of a name now, Tianyu thought. Tianyu Demon Palace. Although I haven't heard of it, the name is quite nice. Ning Fengzi thought in his heart. The name of the power is like this for the time being. If there is a good name, you can also propose it. The author will change it at that time. Please forgive Uncle Ning's shallow knowledge. I haven't known about this power. Can Xianyu introduce it to me? Ning Fengzi simply asked Xianyu to call him Uncle Ning. Xianyu began his serious nonsense. The Demon Palace is a force created by a mysterious dimension and power. Its strength is countless times stronger than any force on the current continent, but it has never appeared on the continent, so it is not well known. To put it simply, I am actually the master of the Demon Palace. After listening to Xianyu, except for Xiao Wu and the other girls, all the other Shrek people looked at Xianyu with a strange look. Daimyo Bei, I didn't expect Xianyu to be a person who likes to brag. Fatty, that's right, he can brag more than me, and he brags in front of several big guys. Oscar, and he didn't blush or beat his heart. I almost believed it. I admit that I can't do it. Ning Fengzi also eased awkwardly. Haha, I didn't expect Xianyu to be so humorous. But in his heart, he thought, I didn't expect Xianyu to be a child who likes to brag. Did I make a mistake this time? Just when Bone Douluo and Sword Douluo were also disappointed in their hearts. Xianyu said, Oh? Uncle Ning, it seems that you misunderstood me. I'm not kidding. Xianyu finished speaking, and a dark light flashed in his eyes. Ning Fengzi looked at Xianyu's serious expression. Just as he was about to speak, a strange feeling instantly spread throughout his body. At this moment, Ning Fengzi, Bone Douluo, and Sword Douluo all felt that their bodies seemed unable to move, and they could not mobilize their soul power at all. It felt like being watched by a super terrifying existence that could kill them in one move. No, it should be several such terrifying existences. After they got rid of that feeling, Ning Fengzi and the other two found that their backs were already wet. The three looked at each other and saw each other's shock. Although they only experienced this feeling for a few seconds, it left a great shock in their hearts. Xianyu said lightly, Master Ning, the strength of the several guardians in my hall is not bad, right? This can only be called not bad? That level of existence is at least beyond the peak Douluo, but in Xianyu's mouth, it is just not bad? For Jian Douluo and Gu Douluo, they felt it feeling most clearly. They had seen peak Douluo before, but the oppressive feeling they gave was far different from those few. If they were confident that they could hold out for a few more moves under the hands of peak Douluo, then they could guarantee that they would not be able to take even one move under the hands of those few. When they looked at Xianyu again, it was as if they were looking at a monster. He had no doubt that the sect that Xianyu just mentioned really existed, because that was the best proof. Ning Fengzi said in his heart, just a few guardians are such a terrifying existence, what about the others in the sect? For example, the elders, how terrifying would they be? He didn't dare to think about it anymore. But this is better, so that he can rest assured to let Rongrong stay with Xianyu. Chapter 38 Xianyu Demon Palace Realm. Inside Shrek Academy. That's right, Xianyu and the others have separated from Ning Fengzi and the others, and then returned to the academy. When Ning Rongrong learned that Ning Fengzi and the others were not here to take her away, she was relieved and restored her youthful and beautiful appearance. On the playground, Flanders said to everyone, get a good night's sleep tonight and get ready. Tomorrow I will take you with soul power level 29 to Xiandao Great Forest to obtain soul rings. After that, he left. After listening to Flanders' words, Tang San said, is that the captive soul beast forest of our Xiandao Empire? Oscar said, of course not. Those captive soul beast forests are shit. It's hard to encounter even a 1,000-year soul beast. At most, you can encounter a 10,000-year soul beast. Only soul soldiers and soul masters will go there. The Xingdao Great Forest is one of the 3 most famous soul beast habitats in our Douluo Continent. The area is so large that it is almost equal to the land area of the Bara Kingdom. It spans the borders of the Xiandao Empire and the Xingluo Empire. Among them, 2/5 of the area is in our Xiandao Empire, and the other 3/5 is in the Xingluo Empire. It is a huge primeval forest with complex terrain, including wetlands, swamps, etc. The soul beasts there are also extremely terrifying. The closer to the center of the forest, the stronger the soul beasts are. It is said that there are even soul beasts of 100,000 years in it. Any soul master, as long as he is strong enough and lucky, can find the most suitable soul ring for himself in it. I got my second soul ring in the Xingdao Great Forest. Well, I hope we can all get a good third soul ring. Tang San, Oscar and Zhu Zhuqing all reached level 29 in spirit power. They went to Xiandao Great Forest for their third spirit ring. At night, Xiao Wu lay in Xianyu's arms and said, brother, When did you become the lord of the demon palace? Xianyu rubbed Xiao Wu's cute bunny head and said, I have always been the lord of the demon palace. Then are your brothers also from the demon palace? Yes, yes. Oh. Xiao Wu didn't ask much. Xianyu had many powerful and mysterious brothers. She had known it for a long time, and Xianyu had never concealed it from her. Xiao Wu, do you want to go to the demon palace? Can I? Of course, in fact, as long as you want, I can take you to see any place in this world. Xianyu stretched out his hand, and Xiao Wu naturally put his hand there. A flash of light flashed, and Xianyu took Xiao Wu to the demon palace realm, which was a space created specifically for the Xianyu demon palace. The space inside was extremely vast, and could even be described as boundless. The spiritual power was also many times richer than the outside world. Xianyu's mind moved, and he brought Xiao to a group of buildings. Every building in the demon palace realm is extremely tall, and every building is made of super god level materials, and there are mysterious patterns on it. There are a bunch of super god level buildings such as the demon refining tower, the demon alchemy building, the demon guangfa pavilion, the demon spiritual medicine garden, etc., and the main hall of the demon palace is in the center of the magic ring. The main demon palace is a super magnificent building, and the whole building exudes a mysterious power. Xiao was particularly shocked just by looking at it from a distance. When Xiao came to the foot of the main hall of the demon palace, he really felt the grandeur of this building. Xianyu waved his hand casually, and the huge door that was 100 meters high slowly opened. What came into view was an extremely noble throne, and on both sides of the road leading to the throne were hundreds of demon generals standing in a row, each of whom exuded terrifying soul power fluctuations. Especially the demons in the front, each of them has the power to destroy the world, but at this time they bow down to Xianyu, and every demon has loyalty and admiration for Xianyu in their eyes. Because the reason they can exist is because of Xianyu's existence, so from the moment they were created, their loyalty to Xianyu is imprinted in their consciousness, and once there was a trace of disloyalty, they would be wiped out by the power in their consciousness. But this situation almost never happens, because over the years, no demon has ever been disloyal to Xianyu, so no demon has been wiped out by the system. Xianyu took Xiao to the throne and sat down. Because the throne was a bit small, Xiao sat on Xianyu's lap, but this was exactly what Xianyu wanted. Seemingly sensing Xianyu's thoughts, all the demons turned to face Xianyu, knelt on one knee, and shouted, "Demon Lord!" If this scene was seen by the outside world, I don't know how many people would be shocked, because any title Douluo here would be a world-destroying existence, but they all knelt down to a boy who was only 12 years old and had a soul power of only level 41. Xiao Wu sat in Xianyu's arms with admiration, because Xianyu was really handsome at this time. After all, Xianyu only needed to wave his hand casually, and this terrifying army could conquer the continent in less than a day. But he didn't. Xianyu still preferred to use step-by-step growth to improve his strength, and then conquer the continent, so that it would be more interesting to conquer. Xianyu and Xiao Wu didn't stay in the demon palace for too long, but returned to Shrek Academy and rested early. The next day, after one night, the Shrek people didn't have much to prepare. After breakfast this morning, when everyone gathered in the playground, Xiao Wuji was already there waiting for them. Seeing Xiao Wuji, the Shrek people were a little stunned. They wanted to laugh but didn't dare to laugh. Xiao Wuji did look a little embarrassed. There were at least 3 bruises on his face that had not yet faded. Especially the panda eye image of his left eye socket was really hilarious. Of course, while laughing, the 7 students including Tang San couldn't help but be surprised at the same time. How could Xiao Wuji become like this? Tang San remembered very clearly that although Xianyu had brought some trouble to Xiao Wuji that day, he didn't leave any scars on his face. The injuries on Xiao Wuji's face were caused by blunt blows. With his strength of a level 76 soul saint and the defense of a powerful diamond bear, who could hurt him? Could it be Dean Flanders? However, Flanders, who possessed the cat eagle martial spirit, was a quick attack type battle spirit master. It seemed impossible for him to injure Xiao Wuji like this. Xianyu was the only one present who knew who beat Xiao Wuji. As for who beat him, is there any need to say who beat him? Xianyu thought to himself, good fellow, he is really protective of his son. Because of my appearance, it seems that Xiao Wuji didn't hurt Tang San much? How come Xiao Wuji was still beaten by Tang Hao? I have to say that Tang San really gave birth to a good father. Could it be that Xiao Wu can't escape the fate of being beaten by Tang Hao? Woohoo, I haven't updated for 2 days. How come no one is reading it? I dare not stop updating again. I have posted 2 updates today. Chapter 39 Kanghu College. Seeing the smiles on Xiao Wu and the others' faces, Xiao Wuji's face also revealed a trace of embarrassment, but he didn't say anything, just said, "Since everyone is here, let's get on the road." The Shrek people soon set foot on the road to the starred-out Great Forest. Tianyu and his group rushed for a day and finally arrived at a small town outside the starred-out Great Forest at night. After all, a 500-kilometer journey is not so easy to walk. At this time, they are already very close to the starred-out Great Forest. Entering the town, it is much more lively than they imagined. The scale of the town is about 3 times that of the village where Shrek Academy is located. Except for the lack of city walls, it is like a small city. There are many shops on the streets, and all kinds of shops are available. Tianyu casually observed that the main business scope of the shops here is mainly related to soul masters, such as some specializing in selling offensive soul weapons, defensive armor soul weapons, detoxification elixirs, recovery potions, and even clothes. They sell some special clothes with more than a dozen pockets that can hold a lot of sundries, suitable for soul masters to take risks. As the saying goes, if you live by the mountain, you eat by the mountain. If you live by the water, you eat by the water. This town obviously relies on the starred-out Great Forest for its survival. There are probably quite a few such towns around the starred-out Great Forest. At this time, Xiao Wuji pointed to a seemingly ordinary hotel in front of him and said, "Let's stay here. Rest for a night and set off tomorrow morning. You will pay for your accommodation and meals." Shrek Academy was not rich to begin with. People like Xiao Wuji and Flanders had no income and their economic situation was really not good. Tang San and his friends, on the other hand, all had subsidies from the Spirit Hall, so their daily expenses were naturally enough. The hotel was a 2-story building. The lobby on the first floor was a simple restaurant. The second floor was for accommodation. Xiao Wuji opened a single room for himself and went upstairs directly. After Tianyu had a brief discussion with everyone, he opened a 5-person room for the 5 boys and a 3-person room for the 3 girls. "Let's eat first and then go upstairs. I'm going to feel sick after eating Xiao Ao's sausages all day today," Ma Hongjin said bitterly. There was no other way. The soul power consumed on the journey was too much. At this time, the importance of auxiliary soul masters was reflected. In order to quickly restore soul power, they had to eat Xiao Ao's sausages. In fact, Ao Shuka's sausages tasted quite good, mainly because of his lines, which made people not want to eat them instantly after listening to them. Tianyu was the only one whose soul power was strong and did not need to be replenished. Others had to eat sausages to replenish their soul power. Tianyu ran 500 kilometers all the way. Up to now, his soul power was still in a state of abundance, and there was not even a trace of exhaustion. Tang San and the others were dumbfounded and said that Tianyu was not a human. "Okay, everyone has worked hard, I will treat everyone to something good," Tianyu said. Tang San asked Tianyu, "Do you want to ask Teacher Xiao to eat with you?" Tianyu shook his head and said, "No, the teacher will not pay for us to come out with us, but he will not accept any benefits from us. This is the rule set by Dean Flanders." The fat man smiled and said, "Isn't it good like this? Everything is clear. What I like most is the unpretentious feeling of the academy." Tianyu said unhappily, "Fatty, stop talking nonsense, you order the dishes. You are the best eater." "Haha, Tianyu is so rich, I won't be polite to him." Soon, the fat man showed everyone Tianyu's evaluation of his good eater. He called the waiter and quickly ordered more than a dozen dishes. Tang San had never heard of many of the names of the dishes, but the fat man looked very happy. "Not bad, not bad. Although it's not big, the food here is quite complete. I hope the taste can be of higher quality." Tianyu said helplessly, "This fat guy, he spends his subsidy on women and eats the rest. I really doubt that if he is not a soul master, he will definitely become a cook." Tianyu said after hearing this, "Old guy, are you sure? Given the characteristics of his martial soul, are you sure he won't be a chef in a hotel? It's a pity that he doesn't have a handsome face, otherwise he might really become the top star." The fat man suddenly turned around and asked in confusion, "Tianyu, Boss Dai, what are you talking about?" "Nothing, Hurry up and order the dishes. 8 people sat around a table. The atmosphere was quite harmonious. Since Xiao was sitting next to them, Zhu Zhuqing didn't have a cold face. Xiao Wu was whispering to Ning Rongrong about something. Ning Rongrong's face suddenly turned red while she was talking. It was estimated that no one knew what Xiao Wu said to Ning Rongrong. Coupled with the 2 funny guys, the fat man and Oscar, the atmosphere was quite lively. At this time, there were already a lot of guests in the hotel restaurant. At this time, a group of people suddenly walked in from outside the hotel restaurant. They were exactly 8 people. The leader was a middle-aged man who looked to be in his 40s. He was handsome, with very shiny hair. He was wearing a moon-white Soul Master robe, which was very exquisite. It was embroidered with silver threads and flashed with light when he moved. Following behind the middle-aged man, there were 7 young people, 6 men and 1 woman, who looked to be around 20 years old. They wore the same moon-white Soul Master robe, but without the silver threads embroidered on the middle-aged man in front. However, both the middle-aged man and the 7 young people behind had a cyan ring mark on their left shoulders, with 2 words of the same color embroidered inside the ring, Kanghu. From their attire, it can be seen that these people are obviously Soul Masters. Xiao and his group were dressed very casually, and they looked no different from ordinary people, but these people were much more flamboyant. As soon as the restaurant owner saw them coming in, he hurriedly greeted them, nodding and bowing in an indescribably polite manner. Just as Oscar said, this town relies on the starred-out Great Forest for its livelihood. In short, it relies on Soul Masters for its livelihood. Soul Masters are not only a noble profession, but also a lucrative profession, so the owner naturally dared not be careless. That girl is pretty. Boss Dai and the others should be from Kanghu College. The fat man stared at the only girl in the team of 8 people with his small eyes, and his old perverted attributes were directly revealed. Daimyo Bei curled his lips. It's just a small Kanghu College. You're not showing off. Neither the fat man nor Daimyo Bei deliberately lowered their voices. Soul Masters have very good hearing. Even though the restaurant was very noisy, the group of people from Kanghu College still heard it. Especially when they found that the speakers were still a group of young teenagers, they immediately felt offended. Oscar sat beside Tang San and chuckled, "There's going to be something interesting to watch." Tang San looked at him with some confusion. "What's the interesting thing?" Oscar whispered, "This is also part of our practice. Dean Flanders said that a spirit master who doesn't dare to cause trouble is not a good spirit master. As the saying goes, those who don't dare to cause trouble are mediocre. Moreover, it is safest to provoke people from the Spirit Master Academy. At most, you will just have a fight. Because there are no mediocre people who dare to cause trouble." Chapter 40, Battle Against Kanghu Academy. The 8 people from Kanghu Academy had already sat down at a table not far from Xiao and the others, several tables away from Shrek. Xiao had good eyesight and could clearly see that the middle-aged man whispered a few words in a young man's ear. Soon, 2 of the young men stood up from their seats and walked towards Tang San and the others' table. According to the route they walked, one was coming towards Daimyo Bei, and the other was coming towards Xiao. When the young man who was walking towards Xiao passed by a waiter carrying dishes, he deliberately bumped into him, causing the waiter, who was just an ordinary person, to stagger. The dishes in his hands flew out and scattered directly towards Xiao and the others. Tang San was quick-witted and supported the waiter who was about to fall with one hand, while Xiao threw out a random spirit power, and the dishes flying in the middle of his mouth and still with soup flew back in the opposite direction and hit the young man's face. The young man was splashed with hot soup all over his face, and he was about to get mad, "You fucking." But before he could finish his words, Xiao had already come in front of him, looked down at him and said, "It was a special situation, I didn't control the strength well, sorry." Everyone knew that Xiao's soul power control method was intentional. The young man was about to get up and get mad, but when he looked into Xiao's cold eyes, he immediately wilted. Yes, he was scared. When another young man passed by Daimyo Bei, he kicked the chair under Daimyo Bei, and the young man's kick was very concealed. If you didn't pay special attention, you couldn't detect his movement at all. At the same time as the young man kicked, Daimyo Bei also moved instantly. How could the little tiger have a good temper? He had suffered a lot from Zhu Zhuqing these days, and Daimyo Bei had been holding back a lot of anger in his heart. Since the other party took the initiative to deliver it to his door, how could he let go of such an opportunity? With a loud bang, The Kanghu Academy youth's kick missed. Then he felt a hurricane whistling towards his face. Looking carefully, he saw that it was Daimyo Bei's slap that had already hit him in the face. The youth was in a panic to defend himself, but in the face of absolute strength, defense could only delay his death. As a result, the youth was hit by Daimyo Bei and flew more than 10 meters away. The youth was tall, with a height of 1.8 meters, but he was still hit by Daimyo Bei's palm and flew out like a kite with a broken string. He knocked down several tables in succession and flew back to the group of people in Kanghu Academy at an extremely fast speed. Looking at Daimyo Bei, who killed the opponent in one blow, Tianyu leisurely drank the tea in his hand and said, "Old Dai has a bad temper. Can't he learn from me?" The middle-aged man from Kanghu College stood up and casually stretched out his hand to catch the young man by the back of his clothes and caught him. The young man looked like a dead man, spit out a mouthful of blood, and fainted. Daimyo Bei straightened his body and stretched his waist with the action of the previous palm strike. "I'm so sorry, I missed." The true nature of the evil-eyed white tiger was revealed. The disdain and contempt on his face were full of arrogance. Not to mention outsiders, even his own people felt that he deserved a beating. Tianyu thought to himself, "Damn it, old Dai actually pretended to be so." There was an uproar in the restaurant. People who were close to Shrek College and Kanghu College hurriedly ran away to avoid being affected. Some people who were afraid of death had already run away, and most people were just watching the excitement and didn't mind the big things. They didn't leave the restaurant immediately, but sat in the distance to eat melons and watch the show. How could the Kanghu Academy group hold back? The remaining students all stood up and rushed towards Shrek Academy to fight, but were stopped by the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man threw the next young man on the chair and said to Daimyo Bei and the others with a dark face, "Which academy are you kids from?" Daimyo Bei's evil eyes flashed. "You don't deserve to know." The fat man said while eating, "Well, it tastes okay. Everyone, eat quickly, otherwise the food will get cold." The face of the teacher of Kanghu Academy has turned livid with anger. What a group of arrogant boys, teach them a lesson. The students of Kanghu Academy were waiting for him to speak. Except for the one who was injured by Daimyo Bei and the only female student, the others immediately rushed towards Tang San and his table. "Fighting? I like it." Xiao Wu jumped up from her seat excitedly and went to meet them without hesitation. The other people at the table were also motivated. Even the fat man who was eating stopped immediately, and the evil fire phoenix directly possessed him. Tang San's eyes were already covered with a layer of light purple light, and he rushed forward directly with a ghost shadow step. Tianyu did not move, but continued to drink the tea that Ning Rongrong made for him leisurely, because at this level, Tianyu did not need to take action, and it was regarded as a warm-up for Xiao Wu and the others before entering the Xingdao Great Forest. At the same time, Tianyu was still staring at the middle-aged man to prevent him from suddenly attacking. If Tianyu guessed correctly, the middle-aged man was a level 60 Soul Emperor, even weaker than Xiao Wuji. "Xiao Wuji, are you polite?" Both sides directly activated their martial spirits and then fought fiercely. Daimyo Bei and Tang San were both in a state of ease when fighting two people at the same time, because except for the two people at the beginning whose soul power was level 26, none of the remaining soul power reached level 25. After Daimyo Bei released his third spirit ring, the students from the Kanghu Academy on the opposite side had already lost. It was needless to say how big the difference in strength was between ordinary people with one spirit ring, except for the protagonists. There was no suspense in this battle, and the students from the other side were directly beaten to pieces. The students from the Kanghu Academy were knocked to the ground, and looked up at the teenagers in front of them. Obviously, those teenagers looked much younger than them, but the strength they showed was far beyond theirs, and it could even be said that they were completely defeated. "Stop it." The middle-aged man from the Kanghu Academy also quickly stood up and blocked the young men, fearing that Tang San and the others would continue to beat them. He waved to his students and said, "You all retreat quickly." The teacher was extremely shocked in his heart, because he clearly realized that the boys and girls in front of him were all geniuses among geniuses in his cognition. It directly shocked his mother for 30 years. He already knew that Tianyu and the others were people he could not afford to offend, because in the perception of ordinary people, geniuses usually only appear in powerful forces. The more talented a person is, the greater the power behind him. What's more, Tang San and his group are so many geniuses collectively, so how terrifying must the power behind them be? Having lived for most of his life, He knows very well who can be offended and who cannot be offended. Chapter 41, The Center of the Star Forest. Seeing Tianyu Bei, Tang San and others continue to come forward, the middle-aged man also secretly gathered soul power in his hands, preparing to defeat Tang San and others with one blow. But suddenly, everyone present only felt a strong soul power fluctuation coming, and soon a short but strong middle-aged man appeared in the restaurant. This person was Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu, who sensed that someone was fighting, also quickly rushed to the restaurant from the room. Sure enough, he was right. The group of people fighting were Tianyu Bei and others. However, when he saw Tang San and others, he did not choose to blame them at the first time, but blocked them in front of Tang San and others with a fierce momentum, staring at the middle-aged man. It seemed as if he was saying, "If you dare to touch my students, I will break your legs." Sensing that the other party was a soul saint level strong man, the middle-aged man also wilted, because he was only a 52nd level soul emperor. Fighting with Xiao Wu, a 76th level soul saint, he knew that he had no chance of winning. If they really fought, he would only be beaten with one hand. The middle-aged man turned around and said to the students behind him, "Let's go." In the end, the middle-aged man and several students from Kanghu Academy left in disgrace. Xiao Wu did not stop him, because there was no deep hatred and there was no need to fence so thoroughly. The current Xiao Wu has been much more low-key and is no longer the Xiao Wu 10 years ago. Seeing that the man actually ran away, Tianyu was speechless. He originally thought that the middle-aged man on the other side would take action, so that he could beat him up. As a result, the other side just ran away, making him feel itchy and having no place to vent. This is all Xiao Wu's fault. He actually scared the man away. Could he come later? Maybe he would take action later. Then Tianyu could only continue to sit down and drink the tea in his hand in boredom. Soon, the Shrek people continued to sit down and taste the food. After a while, the lively atmosphere was restored, as if the mistake just now had not happened. The fat man who was eating suddenly said to Tianyu Bei, "Boss Dai, you are so interested, do you want to have a drink?" Tianyu Bei agreed without thinking, and immediately asked the waiter to send it over. The hotel restaurant owner and others had seen the strength of Tianyu Bei and others, and they also sent the best wine in the store to Tianyu Bei and others. Then Tianyu Bei, Fatty Oscar and others started drinking, and even pulled Tang San in halfway. But Tang San was a person who didn't drink, but he couldn't resist them, so he still drank a little, and then secretly used Zhuan Guang to force the wine out. He still had to practice at night, so he couldn't get drunk. Tianyu drank casually, after all, he couldn't get drunk. Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong and others went back to their rooms to rest early. Tianyu Bei and Fatty Oscar drank until midnight, and finally they were all drunk and unconscious. Later, Tianyu and Tang San had to send them back to their rooms. Tang San threw Oscar and Fatty on the bed and said, "Boss Dai and the others are really something. We are going to enter the forest tomorrow, and they are still so drunk tonight." After saying that, he returned to his bed, sat cross-legged and entered a meditative state. Then Tianyu was left alone with nothing to do. "I can't sleep at night without holding Xiao Wu." Tianyu, who was suffering from insomnia, said boredly while lying on the bed, "Why don't we go to the Xingdao Great Forest for a stroll? I remember that the Silver Dragon King Gu Yuna was healing in the Lake of Life in the center of the Xingdao Great Forest. It's settled." After saying that, Tianyu left the hotel and entered the Xingdao Great Forest in the night. Tianyu quickly shuttled through the trees of the Xingdao Great Forest, releasing all the soul power in his body. Under the terrifying soul power fluctuations, even the soul beasts of tens of thousands of years obediently made way and allowed Tianyu to move towards the center of the Xingdao Great Forest. In fact, Tianyu himself didn't know what his full strength was now, because according to the current situation, no opponent could force out his full strength. Even the 76th level Soul Saint Xiao Wu couldn't force out even 1/10 of his strength. It is conceivable how strong Tianyu's strength would be at this stage. So he was not afraid that any powerful soul beast would suddenly jump out to attack him. In Tianyu's eyes, there was no pressure below 100,000 years, so Tianyu swaggered forward. "You must know that this is the center of the Star Dao Great Forest. Even the title Douluo level masters have to be cautious, but Tianyu's super god level beast martial spirit is not a decoration. The dragon power of the three holy dragons was directly released. Wherever Tianyu passed, the soul beasts with low bloodline power directly crawled on the ground. Xianyu's full-speed flight speed can already surpass most of the titled Douluo-level masters, so under Xianyu's full-speed advance, Xianyu soon reached the center of the starred-out Great Forest. The two big guys in the center of the zinged-out Great Forest naturally sensed Xianyu. When Xianyu came to the Lake of Life, the Titan ape jumped directly in front of Xianyu, and its huge body shook the ground. Xianyu's height of 1.8 meters seemed so small in front of the Titan ape's huge body. The Titan ape did not attack Xianyu, a strange human, at the first time, but opened its mouth and spoke some beast language. You should know that soul beasts like the Titan ape hate humans very much, and an invader like Xianyu came directly to someone's home. If it were normal, the Titan ape would have swallowed him long ago. Xianyu was also confused. He didn't know what the Titan ape was going to say, but he was not panicked at all. Because he knew that there was a bigger guy in the lake. A heavy voice sounded from the lake. Human boy, why do you have the aura of Sister Xiao Wu? Then a huge body broke out of the lake. The huge body looked much bigger than the Titan ape, and the main thing was that he could actually speak human language. Xiao, Xiao Wu is my wife in the human world. Before the Azure Bull Python could speak, the Titan ape next to Xiao was already jumping and pounding the ground. Although he couldn't speak, he could still listen. His look and expression seemed to say, "Impossible, I don't believe it. Human boy, you'd better show us proof. You have to know that the consequences of deceiving us will be miserable." After the Azure Bull Python finished speaking, a green light flashed in his eyes. Xianyu smiled faintly, then raised one of his hands and extended a finger. Happy weekend. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42, The Great Ming and the Second Ming. A black ring gradually appeared on the ring finger of Xianyu's right hand. The blue bull python was also shocked when he saw the ring, which reminded him of what Xiao had said to her a long time ago. "Daming, if you see a boy wearing this ring in the future, he is the one I like, so you can't hurt him." Daming stared at Xianyu with his huge eyes for a while, and then said, "I didn't expect that Xiao would meet someone she likes after only being in the human world for a few years. Come and sit down. More than 10 years is really a fleeting time for them soul beasts." Xianyu came to sit on a stone in the Lake of Life and chatted with Erming and Daming. When he took out the ring, Daming and Erming believed him. Because Xiao also has an identical ring, but Xiao's is pink. If you are a fan of the original novel, don't tell me why the ring did not appear in the original novel, because this is a fanfiction, not the original novel, Daming said. "Is Xiao okay? Has she been bullied?" After saying that, he looked at Xianyu with that look. "Xianyu, don't look at me like that. Xiao is living well now and is protected because I won't allow anyone to hurt her. Also, Xiao will enter the forest tomorrow. You can go see her in person then." Hearing what Xianyu said, Daming no longer looked at Xianyu with that look. Erming, who heard that Xiao would come to the forest tomorrow, was also jumping and dancing happy as a 200-pound idiot. He even put Xianyu on his head. "By the way, what's your name?" Daming asked. He hadn't seen Erming so happy since Xiao went to the human empire. "Dongfang Xianyu. Just call me Xianyu." "Okay Xianyu, you can just call me Daming. His name is Erming." He pointed at Erming with his huge tail. "Okay, Daming and Erming, actually I came to the center of the forest this time for something. Xianyu, tell me. Erming and I will help if we can. I want to see the one under the Lake of Life." "What? You want to see Lord Beast God, but Lord Beast God is healing and does not allow anyone to disturb her." "Xianyu, I really can't help you with this. I can help her heal." "Daming, believe me, I have the ability." Seeing Daming still hesitating, Xianyu continued, "Let me show you." After saying that, Xianyu's soul power was directly released, and the 3 holy dragons on his body also flew out of his body and hovered behind Xianyu. Various super god level soul powers overflowed from Xianyu. At this time, Xianyu gave Daming a feeling of being so strong and shocking. Daming also learned about human civilization, such as the realm of soul masters and martial soul rings. He knew that in human civilization, most humans can only have 1 martial soul, and only a very small number can have 2. But to be honest, he has never seen a person with 3 martial souls like Tianyu in his 100,000 years of life. Also, for a human of Tianyu's age, the average soul power should be around level 10, and a genius should be around level 20, which is the level of their soul beasts of 100 or 1,000 years. And the soul power fluctuations that Tianyu just burst out have at least reached the level of human titled Douluo, which is the level of their soul beasts of 100,000 years. This made him a little confused. Tianyu has reached the level of their soul beasts who have worked hard to practice for 100,000 years in less than 10 years, which makes him feel a little balanced. 3 life martial soul, level 40 has the strength of a titled Douluo. When he reaches level 90, won't he take off directly? It is not a simple soul beast, it has everything that humans should know, and it even knows more than some humans after living for 100,000 years. So someone like Tianyu is no longer a simple genius in human society. This level of genius can probably only be possessed by the Son of God. Is Tianyu from the God realm? Otherwise, how would he know the existence of the one under the lake of life? Maybe he can really help the Lord Beast God heal his wounds? Tianyu, can you really help Lord Beast God? Daming, I promise you with my personality that I can. In fact, if Tianyu is tough, Daming and Erming can't stop him at all, but he doesn't like it. Okay, Tianyu, go down, but whether you can see Lord Beast God depends on your own strength. Thank you. Tianyu thanked him and dived directly into the Lake of Life. The Lake of Life is very deep. Tianyu didn't know how long he swam. Anyway, he was swimming at full speed. A layer of soul power shield condensed by 3 kinds of soul power wrapped him, so that the life spring in the Lake of Life could not stop his forward speed. Taking out a drop of the life spring in the Lake of Life is a sky-high gold soul coin in the outside world, because humans only need to drink a mouthful of the life spring to increase their lifespan. The reason why Cheyenne King Bull Python Daming can break through the 100,000-year soul beast is also because of this life lake. This is also the reason why the Silver Dragon King Guyuna chose to heal here. Tianyu swam for a long time and finally saw the light in front. When Tianyu swam closer, he found that it was a blue barrier. Tianyu stretched out his hand to touch it, but found that his hand could not penetrate it at all. However, this did not bother Tianyu at all. Tianyu began to activate the soul power in his body. A holy light gradually condensed in Tianyu's hand. Tianyu placed the holy light on the blue barrier, and saw that the blue barrier was gradually dissolved, revealing the space inside. Tianyu walked into the space and was surprised to find that this was another space, a space isolated from the Lake of Life. It was located at the bottom of the Lake of Life, but it could enjoy the benefits brought by the Fountain of Life. Who are you? As soon as Tianyu stepped into this space, a cold but pleasant voice sounded. Originally, the author did not intend to write about Guyuna, but I wrote it on impulse. Now I regret it a little bit, because I don't know how to write it later. I am afraid that I will write it randomly but not well, and I am afraid that it will give book friends a bad reading experience. Because the author has not read the novels after Dao Yi, when writing about Guyuna, I also searched on the internet, but since I have written it, I have to be responsible for finishing it, so come on. I originally wanted to open a group when I wrote 100,000 words, but now I can only open it in advance. Book Friends Group Number 100,861,943. Administrator position is first come first served. Chapter 43 Guyuna. Tianyu looked in the direction of the voice and found that the other party was a beautiful woman. She had long silver hair that was scattered behind her and down to her ankles. Not only was her hair smooth, but it also had a texture like silver crystal. She had a beauty that could not be described in words, and all descriptions were not enough to describe her stunning appearance. Slightly pale white skin and purple eyes. Even if she was only wearing an ordinary white shirt, she looked very sexy. Her eyes were extremely beautiful, with long curled eyelashes and clear and transparent purple eyes. Especially when her eyes were a little confused, it made people feel pity. If Tianyu guessed correctly, this beautiful woman was the Silver Dragon King Guyuna. Seeing that Tianyu hadn't answered her, Guyuna continued to ask, "Who are you?" "Me? My name is Dongfang Tianyu, and I'm here to help you." "You can't help me, go away." "How do you know if you don't try? Come on." Tianyu walked straight to Guyuna, came in front of him and said, "Give me your hand." "You." Guyuna was thinking at this time, since Tianyu could come in, it means that he knows Daming and Erming, and she was embarrassed to drive him away, so she could only hope that Xianyu could leave quickly after he couldn't cure her. Okay. In the end, she could only helplessly hand her fair jade hand to Xianyu. Xianyu held Gu Yuna's jade hand and instructed the system in his heart. The system uses the Super God Healing card. This was a system reward that Xianyu received a long time ago. As long as you are not dead, any injury can be healed instantly. Ling. Super God Healing card has been activated. In an instant, Gu Yuna felt a warm current flowing from her palm into her body. Then, Gu Yuna was surprised to find that the injuries she had suffered before were healing. The warm current continued to flow into every corner of her body, allowing her to recover from the injuries that would have taken tens of thousands of years to recover in an instant without leaving a trace. It's done. Xianyu released Gu Yuna's hand after he was done. It's done now. Gu Yuna stared at her hand blankly, because the feeling was so comfortable that she was reluctant to let it go. Gu Yuna began to sense the injuries in her body. After repeated confirmation, she was sure that all the injuries in her body had really recovered. Although her strength had not yet recovered to its peak, it was half of her strength. Thank you. Gu Yuna said to Xianyu. Well, you're welcome. It's destined. Who are you? Gu Yuna had already checked Xianyu's strength, but she could only see a black mist and knew nothing else. With his godly strength, he couldn't even tell the truth from a mortal. I am the Lord of the Demon Palace. Lord of the Demon Palace? It sounds so powerful, but why does it feel a bit stupid? Here. Xianyu handed a silver necklace to Gu Yuna. Looking at the necklace handed over by Xianyu, Gu Yuna took it, and then looked at Xianyu with a look that didn't quite understand. Your current strength has at least recovered to the god level. If you go out now, it may attract the attention of the god realm. Wearing this can help you. After listening, Gu Yuna also put on the necklace. She herself didn't know why she believed Xianyu's words so easily now. Did Xianyu look too harmless? Or did Xianyu have a special magic that made people believe him involuntarily? The moment she put on the necklace, Gu Yuna felt that there was an invisible barrier that isolated her from the outside world, as if she no longer belonged to this world. Similarly, nothing in this world could spy on her, and she could control this barrier freely. She was really getting more and more curious about Xianyu now. Why are you so nice to me? Are you plotting something bad? Gu Yuna looked at Xianyu with a suspicious look. Do I look like that? Xianyu said and turned away. Where are you going? Of course I'm leaving. It's dawn. After saying that, he walked back without looking back. Xianyu should really go back, because it's dawn. If he doesn't go back, everyone might be worried. Wait? What do you want to do? Can you take me with you? My current strength hasn't fully recovered yet. Whatever. Xianyu said and left the space, swimming towards the top of the Lake of Life. Gu Yuna followed him. As soon as Xianyu came out of the space, he released all three soul powers and swam towards the top of the Lake of Life with all his strength. Because this was not on the ground, Xianyu needed to withstand the pressure of the Lake of Life to move forward, so Xianyu's speed would be a bit slow. But Gu Yuna was different. Her strength had also recovered by half. For her, this small Lake of Life only took a blink of an eye to get out. So she came to Xianyu and teased, you obviously have so many powerful means, but you are so slow to get out of the lake. Do you want me to help you? Xianyu was speechless. He didn't expect that Gu Yuna had such a side, but he still stretched out his hand. Gu Yuna held Xianyu's hand, and then a silver light flashed. When Xianyu opened his eyes again, he had already arrived at the surface of the Lake of Life. Xianyu had to be surprised. This person with divine power was different. Although Gu Yuna only had half of her strength at this time, she could already beat all his demon generals. Sure enough, although Xianyu is now invincible on the mainland, it is still not enough to look at the entire Douluo universe, such as the God realm, so he has to work hard to become stronger. When the protagonist grows up, how to beat the God realm, Daming and Erming were also shocked when they saw the Silver Dragon King Gu Yuna next to Xianyu. Shine King Bull Python, Lord Beast God? Is your injury healed? The Silver Dragon King just said lightly, it's healed, but not completely healed. Xianyu came to the ground and said to Daming and Erming, Daming Erming, I'm leaving. Let's play together next time. Then he quickly rushed to the outside of the Xingdao Great Forest. At this time, the sky was already bright. Okay, Xianyu, remember to come and play often next time. By the way, Lord Beast God. Eh? Where is Lord Beast God? Guyuna, of course, followed Xianyu. Forget it, I just didn't expect Xianyu to really be able to heal Lord Beast God. After that, the Xian King Bull Python continued to sink into the fountain of life. Book Friends Group. 100,861,943. Chapter 44 Meng Yiren. Daimubei and his friends. At dawn, Daimubei was the first to wake up. He opened his eyes sleepily, stood up unsteadily and washed his face. Daimubei patted his cheek and said, "Why did I get so drunk last night?" Then he called a number of people, Fatty, Xiao, Tang San, Xianyu. Where's Xianyu? Xiao-san, Xiao-san. Daimubei woke up Tang San, who had been practicing all night. Tang San looked at Daimubei a little confused and said, "Boss Dai, what's the matter?" "Xiao-san, where's Xianyu?" Isn't Xianyu there?" Tang San was a little confused when he looked at Xianyu's empty bed. After all, he saw Xianyu lying on the bed with his own eyes last night. Would Xianyu have gone to the girl's room in the middle of the night? "I remember he wasn't drunk either," Daimubei said. Later, Daimubei, Xiao Wu and others also discussed and decided to enter the forest first. They were not very worried about Xianyu, because they knew Xianyu's strength very well, so it was likely that Xianyu went out to play in the middle of the night and forgot the time. In the Xingdao Great Forest, Xianyu was flying quickly above the jungle, and Guyuna was flying on the same line as Xianyu. Xianyu's current speed seemed very slow in Guyuna's eyes. Just as Xianyu was flying, Xianyu suddenly sensed that there was a Soul Master and Soul Beast fighting in front of him. Xianyu originally thought of just flying over, but with a pair of eagle eyes, he still saw clearly that the Soul Master below seemed to be a woman, and she seemed to have a good figure. He was not in a hurry to go back, but stopped and floated in the air. The helpful Xianyu decided to see if she needed help. Seeing Xianyu suddenly stop, Guyuna was a little confused about what Xianyu was going to do. "Xianyu, aren't you in a hurry to go back? Why did you stop? It seems someone is in trouble. I want to help her." "You are too kind. Why do you like to meddle in other people's business so much? Then is it also considered meddling when I help you heal your wounds? How can it be the same? What's the difference?" "I don't want to talk to you." Guyuna turned her head away. Now she didn't want to talk to Xianyu. Below the forest, a beautiful girl with short blue hair, who looked about 16 or 17 years old, was wearing a neat outfit that tightly covered her well-developed figure and a pair of blue eyes, was confronting a snake-shaped soul beast. The girl's eyes were fixed on the snake-shaped soul beast opposite her. In her hand, she held a 2-meter-long snakehead iron staff, and 2 yellow 100-year soul rings also appeared on her body. Sensing the soul power emanating from the blue-haired girl, Guyuna just said lightly, "Such a weak human. A soul master of level 29 is indeed as small as an ant to Guyuna now." Hearing what Guyuna said, Xianyu also said, "My soul power is only level 41, am I also very weak?" Guyuna turned her head, looked at Xianyu with her beautiful eyes and said, "You are different from other humans." "What's the difference?" "I'm just a little more handsome, a little richer, and a little stronger than others, but I'm also an ordinary person," Xianyu said with a helpless expression. Guyuna covered her mouth and chuckled, "Just you? An ordinary person? If your words were spread to the god realm, many gods and goddesses would be angry to death." While Xianyu was talking to Guyuna, the blue-haired girl below had already started fighting with the snake-shaped soul beast, and the snake-shaped soul beast, the sky-devouring snake python, instantly launched an attack on the blue-haired girl. The speed was so fast that the blue-haired girl could only see a black shadow in her eyes, but she was not a fool. She used her second soul skill, Snake Shadow Shield, to resist the attack, and then connected with her first soul skill, Snake Shadow Phantom Thorn at an ultra-fast speed. The snakehead iron rod in the blue-haired girl's hand instantly transformed into several snake shadows that stabbed the body of the sky-devouring snake python, but to the despair of the blue-haired girl, her attack did not cause any damage to the sky-devouring snake python. Xianyu, who was watching from above, had already guessed that the result would be like this, because the sky-devouring snake python was a 3,000-year-old soul beast, with a strength of about the human soul master, and it was also a soul beast famous for its defensive power. Such a soul beast might be a matter of one punch in Xianyu's hands, but for a soul master of only level 29, this was already fatal enough. After all, Not everyone was a wall hanger. The sky-devouring snake python opened its huge mouth and was about to swallow the girl. The blue-haired girl had already closed her eyes and was waiting for death. It's time to take action. The girl slumped on the ground. Before she closed her eyes, she only felt a flash of black light in front of her eyes. She thought to herself, am I already dead? But why doesn't it hurt? Then she slowly opened her eyes, and what came into her sight was a tall divine figure. He held a long sword with dragon patterns in his hand, and under his feet was the sky-devouring snake python. Xianyu turned around in a chick manner, showing a charming smile and said, "Are you okay?" and stretched out a sinful hand to the girl. The girl looked at Xianyu with a blushing cheek, and stretched out her hand to Xianyu. Xianyu also held the girl's hand and wanted to pull the girl up. As soon as the girl was pulled up by Xianyu, she fell into Xianyu's arms with a cry of ah. She wanted to leave Xianyu's arms in a panic, but was stopped by Xianyu. Xianyu said, "Don't move." And then the girl really stayed still and lay quietly in Xianyu's arms. Xianyu stretched out his hand and touched the girl's slender and white calf. "Ah, it hurts," the blue-haired girl said in a delicate voice. Well, don't think wrongly, it turned out that the girl was injured in her calf when she fought the soul beast just now, so she lost her balance and fell into Xianyu's arms as soon as she stood up. "It's okay." Xianyu comforted gently. Then Xianyu put his hand on the wound on the girl's calf, and a holy light began to condense in his palm. The girl only felt the wound on her calf was warm, and then the pain in her calf disappeared. The blue-haired girl in his arms stared at Xianyu's handsome face. At this time, their cheeks were very close, and the girl could even smell Xianyu's breath. Unconsciously, she was actually infatuated, because Xianyu was powerful and handsome, a little domineering but very gentle. At this time, her face was red like an apple, and her heartbeat was particularly fast. After treating the wound, Xianyu also put the girl down from his arms. After the girl came to her senses, she quickly left Xianyu's arms, but after leaving Xianyu's arms, she didn't know why she was a little reluctant. The blue-haired girl tidied up her slightly messy clothes, and then said to Xianyu, "Thank you for saving my life. I have no way to repay you. If you don't mind, I can only." She was a little shy and couldn't say the rest. But Xianyu helped her to speak. Xianyu teased, "Will you pledge yourself to me?" After Xianyu said that, she became even more shy, and her pretty cheeks were red like apples again. The deer in her heart was beating wildly, and her two little hands pinched the corners of her skirt, as if she was boldly struggling with her thoughts. Xianyu stopped teasing her and said seriously, "What's your name? Why are you alone in the Star Dao Forest?" "Benefactor, my name is Meng Yiren. I originally came out with my family to obtain spirit rings, but I accidentally got separated from my family. If it weren't for your help, I might have, just..." "You don't have to call me Benefactor, my name is Dongfang Xianyu, just call me Xianyu." "Yes, Xianyu Benefactor." Xianyu held his forehead, but still said, "Let's go, let's leave the Star Dao Forest together and see if we can meet your family." "Okay, Xianyu, thank you." Xianyu waved his hand indifferently and said, "You're welcome, it's just a small favor." After Xianyu finished speaking, a pair of dark wings appeared behind him, and then he stretched out his hand and said, "This way we can travel faster." Meng Yiren also held Xianyu's hand, and finally Xianyu took her to experience the flight that Ning Rongrong had experienced before. Since it was her first time flying, she was a little uncomfortable, so she hugged Xianyu and experienced the same treatment as Ning Rongrong. Flying in Xianyu's arms. Dear book friends, join the group, book friends group. 100,861,943. Chapter 45 Phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake. On the Shrek side, Tang San unexpectedly encountered the human-faced demon bead, and then unexpectedly killed the human-faced demon spider and unexpectedly obtained the third spirit ring. Then they unexpectedly encountered the spirit beast specially customized for Oscar, the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake. In order to train the actual combat capabilities of the Shrek people, Xiao Wu did not hunt the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake, but let Oscar and others cooperate in hunting. Since the strength of this phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake seemed to be a little stronger than the one in the original book, Tang San and others almost captured it, but it ran away. Looking at the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake running farther and farther, Xiao Wu was about to make a move. A holy light flashed in front of the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake in front of them, and the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake flew directly back to the direction of the Shrek people and landed right in front of Oscar. Just when the Shrek people were a little confused about what was going on, a holy light fell in front of them. When they saw the person coming clearly, they understood why the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake was killed in one shot despite its fast speed. This person is Tianyu. Tianyu was a little speechless. Tianyu was originally flying quickly in the air. After sensing the Shrek people in front of him, he was ready to land next to them. But a black shadow appeared in front of him. When Tianyu saw it clearly, he found that it was a flying snake soul beast. He wanted to fly over without any trouble. Who would have thought that the snake would bite him with its mouth open, and Tianyu just hit it and flew it away. Everyone was about to ask Tianyu where he went last night. The sharp-eyed Daimyo saw the two stunning beauties beside Tianyu and immediately understood. He thought in his heart, Tianyu is really good at playing. Wandering in the forest with two such beautiful beauties, the old pervert Daimyo naturally thought of something. But thinking about it, he cried in his heart, because Tianyu had only been out for one night and met two such beautiful girls. And he, who claimed to be a beauty hunter, couldn't even handle Zhu Zhuqing, and suddenly he felt that his life was too useless. Everyone else saw Gu Yuna and Meng Yiren beside Tianyu. How could Xiao not see it? Then she came to Tianyu angrily and said, "Brother, who are these two girls?" Tianyu also said seriously, "They are girls who encountered difficulties in the Xingdao Great Forest, and then I met and rescued them." Meng Yiren also came out to explain, "Yes, if it weren't for Tianyu's benefactor who rescued me in the forest, I might have died in the mouth of the soul beast now." Xiao hugged Tianyu's arm and said, "Brother, I thought you did something to let me down." Tianyu touched Xiao's head and said, "How could I do something to let Xiao down?" Although Tianyu said so, he still felt guilty. In fact, Tianyu went to help Gu Yuna heal and save Meng Yiren for other purposes, such as system rewards. For helping Gu Yuna heal and gain favor, the system rewarded the Silver Dragon King Wuhan, Super God Evolution version, and a luck gift pack. Xiao didn't know why she always felt that there was a familiar breath on Gu Yuna. Xiao Wu couldn't see through Gu Yuna, but Gu Yuna saw Xiao Wu clearly, and Gu Yuna knew that Xiao Wu's true form was a rabbit the first time she saw Xiao Wu. In fact, Xiao Wu and Gu Yuna didn't know each other, because Gu Yuna suddenly came to the Lake of Life one day. At that time, Xiao Wu hadn't transformed yet and was not present that day, so she hadn't seen the true appearance of the Silver Dragon King Gu Yuna. She just heard Daming say that a noble existence came down from the bottom of the lake. Xiao Wuji suddenly said, "Xiao, hurry up and absorb the soul ring. The Star Dao Forest is very dangerous at all times." The others set up a formation to protect Xiao to absorb the soul ring. Tianyu felt that Xiao Wuji's worry was good. People can't be arrogant just because they have a little strength, especially in a dangerous situation like the Star Dao Great Forest. Maybe for Tianyu, a place like the Star Dao Great Forest is not dangerous, but for Ning Rongrong and others, the powerful soul beasts in the forest are deadly enough. Even Tianyu is not too careless now. After all, no one knows whether there will be accidents such as the intervention of the God realm or the invasion of gods and demons from outside the domain. After all, Tianyu is not strong enough now, and is not enough to fight against opponents above the God realm, but Tianyu can believe that after he breaks through the 100th level, he will definitely be able to hang up the gods and hammer them. After all, he is destined to become the lord of the demon god. After a while, Oscar merged the soul ring of the phoenix-tailed coxcomb snake and obtained the third soul ring, the extremely fast-flying mushroom sausage. After learning about the effect of the soul skill, everyone felt that the effect of this soul skill was quite good, which greatly increased everyone's team battle ability. After all, not everyone is like Tianyu or Ma Hongjin, who has their own flying wings. Tianyu can switch between several elemental wings at will, which is beautiful and practical. After Oscar absorbed the soul ring, the sky darkened again. Everyone in Shrek wanted to start a fire and rest on the spot like last night. But Tianyu said, "No need to start a fire, I'll take everyone to place." After saying that, he snapped his fingers. Everyone felt a flash of light before their eyes, and when they opened their eyes again, they found that they had come to a brand new world. When the Shrek people were suddenly teleported into the spirit ring, they were a little nervous. Tianyu explained, "Don't be nervous, this is my space soul weapon, It's very safe inside, we can just rest inside tonight. When the Shrek people heard Tianyu say that such a large space was actually his space soul weapon, they were all shocked. Daimyo said, Tianyu, you told me that such a large space was actually your space soul weapon? I would believe you if you said it was another world. Tang San was also shocked. The reason why they were shocked was not only because the space inside Tianyu's space soul weapon was so large, but because it could actually hold living things. You have to know that space soul weapons that cannot hold living things and those that can hold living things are completely two different concepts. Just like Tang San's 24 Bridges Moonlit Night, it is already a relatively top-quality existence among space soul weapons, but it can only hold some dead things, not living things. Space Horcruxes that can hold living creatures are extremely rare on the market. Even if there are some, they are very small and cannot hold too many things. But the price is extremely terrifying. Even if Tang San has earned a lot of gold soul coins by selling hidden weapons, he can't even afford the fur of a space Horcrux that can hold living creatures. Xiao Wu was also shocked. He was shocked that Tianyu could get them into this space in the blink of an eye, and he didn't even react. Even if he reacted, it would be useless because he didn't know how to crack it. For Xiao Wu, this ability is really too terrifying. If you are fighting with the enemy, but you are suddenly transferred into such a space without knowing it, then you will really be at the mercy of others. This is really more hidden than a hidden weapon. Guyuna looked at Tianyu with her beautiful eyes, and said in her heart, Dongfang Tianyu, I am really more and more curious about you. Thanks to the book friend, Forest for the reward of 1,666 book coins, thank you very much. Thanks to the book friend, Only Sigh This Life for the reward of 588 book coins, thank you very much. Thanks to the book friend, A Fish Looking for Death for the reward of 588 book coins, thank you very much. Book Friends Group. 100,861,943 Book Friends Group. 100,861,943 Book Friends Group. 100,861,943. Chapter 46 Two-Headed Demonic Snake. In fact, this spirit world is not the main spirit world where Tianyu and Xiao Wu lived together before. It is just one of the many sub-spiritual worlds of Tianyu, which is much smaller than the main spirit world. He rarely comes to Tianyu, and usually uses it to plant some flowers and plants, spiritual medicine, and so on. Nothing happened overnight. In the morning, everyone in Shrek got up. In the morning, purple air came from the east. Tang San felt the purple air in the morning in the spirit world, and his purple gold magic pupil instantly improved by 1 level. Because his purple gold magic pupil relies on the purple air in the morning to cultivate, the richer the purple air, the greater the improvement and help to his purple gold magic pupil. Tang San thought, the spiritual power in this world is at least 3 times that of the outside world, or even more, especially the purple key in the early morning. I just absorbed it for a while, and my purple gold magic pupil rose to another level. It's incredible. In the girl's room, Ning Rongrong stretched her slender waist that could be held in one hand, and said comfortably, I slept so comfortably last night. How come my spirit power has increased, and it increased by 2 levels overnight, directly to level 29, so strange. Other people in Shrek also felt this situation. They just slept, and their spirit power has been improved. They know that this must be the function of Tianyu's spirit realm, and they are once again amazed at the power of Tianyu's spirit realm. Since Ning Rongrong also rose to level 29 last night, there is one more person who needs to obtain a spirit ring today, namely Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing, who need to obtain the 3rd spirit ring. In addition, Meng Yiren, who has not found her family yet, has 3 people who need to obtain the 3rd spirit ring. After leaving the spirit world, everyone went to find spirit beasts suitable for Ning Rongrong and Zhu Zhuqing's 3rd spirit skills. Soul beasts around 2,000 years old are the most suitable for the 3rd soul skill, so Tianyu and his friends decided to help Ning Rongrong and her friends find soul beasts around 2,000 years old. The 3rd soul ring in the original novel is 1,700 years old, but this is not the original novel. The soul beast that is most suitable for Ning Rongrong's 3rd soul ring does not necessarily have to be a soul beast with strong attack power, so Tianyu thinks that the Devil Knight deer is quite good. It just so happened that they encountered a 2,100-year-old deer not long after they searched. Tang San tied up the Devil Knight deer with a 3rd soul skill. The rest was directly handed over to Daimyo and others to attack, and they beat it to half-crippled state. Xianyu did not take action, but watched quietly from the side, because he was afraid that if he took action, he might accidentally kill the soul beast, and then how could Ning Rongrong obtain the soul ring? Under the siege of everyone, the devil knight deer was also beaten to a near-death state. Xianyu, who was standing next to Ning Rongrong, said, "Rongrong." Ning Rongrong nodded in understanding, and walked to the side of the devil deer. After saying sorry, she killed the deer with a dagger. Xiao Wu and Guyuna, who were also soul beasts, didn't feel anything, because among soul beasts, weak soul beasts were just food for some powerful soul beasts. Survival of the fittest, Xiao Wu and Guyuna have lived for so many years and have long understood and gotten used to it. It is probably because the soul rings are more compatible. Ning Rongrong quickly absorbed the soul rings, obtained the third soul ring, and her soul power reached level 30. Xianyu said, "Rongrong, try the effect of the new soul skill." "Well, okay." Ning Rongrong said and started to use her soul power. The 7 treasures have names, the third is soul. A halo was directly put on Xianyu's body. The moment the halo was on his body, Xianyu felt that his soul power was directly increased by nearly 1-fold. "Rongrong, your third soul skill is very effective. You are still stronger than Xianyu. The effect of my third soul skill is that the stronger the target is, the better the effect will be." The fat man on the side suddenly shouted, "Rongrong, you only remembered to be the first to increase the power of Xianyu, but forgot that we are also your partners. You are too biased." Daimube also echoed, "That's right, we are not as handsome as Xianyu, and our strength is not as strong as Xianyu. People will definitely only remember her brother Xianyu." Ning Rongrong couldn't stand them. Why are they still like children? It was only after she put a soul ring on each of them that they quieted down. After Xiao Wuji knew the effect of Ning Rongrong's third soul skill, he also said, "With the blessing of Rongrong's third soul skill, your overall strength has risen to a new level." Xianyu also felt that what Xiao Wuji said was right, because the role of auxiliary soul masters in a team is very important, and auxiliary soul masters can even be said to be the core of a team. Personal opinion, please don't criticize if you don't agree. For example, in the original work, Yi Lingling in the royal fighting team of the Soul Master competition, only one soul skill can heal the team that is about to be wiped out. Xianyu and his team will continue to help Meng Yiren and Zhu Zhuqing find soul beasts suitable for the third soul ring, and try to find the third soul rings of the remaining 2 women within today. The Xingdao Great Forest can be said to be super large, almost equal to the land area of the Bara Kingdom, and the years and species of soul beasts in it are naturally super rich. Xianyu and his team soon encountered a snake soul beast suitable for Meng Yiren's third soul ring, the 2-headed demon shadow snake, whose bloodline is also the top among snake soul beasts. Not far from Xianyu and his team, there was a snake that was more than 10 meters long and covered with black scales. What's more terrifying is that he actually has 2 snake heads, and each snake head has a pair of long black horns. The 2-headed demonic shadow snake was devouring an unknown soul beast at this time. Seeing the arrival of Xianyu and others, the 2-headed demonic shadow snake also quickly swallowed the prey. The 4 terrifying snake pupils stared at Xianyu and others, and the long snake tongue was spitting out of its mouth, as if it was ready to attack at any time. Xianyu popularized science to the people of Shrek. This soul beast is called the 2-headed demonic shadow snake. It is about 2,000 years old. It is the best among snake soul beasts. It has super high defense and speed. The 2 huge snake heads can spit out black demonic flames. It has super high corrosive and flammable properties. It is difficult to extinguish if you get stuck, so everyone should be careful. Tang San, who was beside Xianyu, was even more shocked when he heard Xianyu's popular science. Because he and the master had studied soul beast knowledge for so long and didn't know this soul beast. But Xianyu knew the information of this soul beast with just one glance. He knew that Xianyu had never studied it before, but he knew so much. Compared with his hard work, it was just a comparison, which was infuriating. After listening to Xianyu's popular science, Ning Rongrong worriedly said, "Is it so dangerous? Do we really have to hunt it?" If Ning Rongrong guessed correctly, Xianyu should hunt this soul beast for Meng Yiren. Well, it's dangerous, so what? We must hunt it today, because it is Yiren's third soul ring. Xianyu said confidently. Ning Rongrong was right. Xianyu regarded it as Meng Yiren's third soul ring. Hearing Xiao say that hunting this soul beast is for her third soul ring, Meng Yiren was also very warm and moved. He and Xiao had only known each other for less than a day. Xiao just saved her life yesterday, and today he had to risk his life to get a soul ring for her. She didn't understand why Xiao was so good to her. She didn't know how long it would take to repay Xiao's kindness. In fact, she misunderstood. Xiao is very good to everyone around him. After the trip to the Xingdao Great Forest, Meng Yiren may join Shrek because the author wants to take in several female supporting roles in the original work. Shui Binger, Shui Yuir, Ho Wu, Meng Yiren, Gu Yuna, Du Guyan, Yi Lingling. This is not the word cold, it is pronounced Ling. If not enough, please add more. Chapter 47 Xiao, I like you. Xiao had to take action this time, because if he didn't, Tang San and his team would be in trouble and might even get hurt. So Xiao began to arrange the tactics. The actor started to work, saying, as usual, Tang San, you are responsible for control, Fatty is responsible for containment in the air, Lao Dai, Zhu Zhuqing, Yiran, Xiao Wu, you will cooperate with me, Rongrong and Xiao Ao will stack amplification for me in the back row. At the beginning of the battle, Ning Rongrong put 3 halos on Xiao. Sensing the fluctuations of Xiao's soul power, the two-headed demon shadow snake also knew that Xiao and his team were going to attack, so it opened its 2 bloody mouths and bit Xiao and his team. The Shrek people also quickly dispersed, and Tang San started with a 3rd soul skill, because his 2nd and 1st soul skills might not have much effect on this monster, so he could only use the 3rd soul skill. A pile of black vines instantly emerged from the ground and tied up the two-headed demon shadow snake tightly. Tang San directly used 3 times the amount of this 3rd soul skill. This attack also drained Tang San's soul power, but it also created more time for Xiao and the others. With such a large amount of energy, it was not easy for the two-headed demon snake to escape in a short period of time, so Daimyu Bei and the others also tried their best to release their soul skills. Daimyu Bei, White Tiger Fierce Light Wave. Fatty, Phoenix Fire Line. Zhu Zhuqing, Netherworld 100 Claws. Meng Yiren, Snake Shadow Illusion Thorn. Xiao also symbolically swung a sword and slashed at the two-headed demon snake. Tons of damage instantly hit the two-headed demon snake, causing it to emit a tragic and sharp hissing sound. The sound was so unpleasant that Xiao and the others closed their ears with their hands. The two-headed demon snake took this opportunity to instantly break away from the attack of Xiao and the others. Xiao had said before that the two-headed demon shadow snake was a soul beast that combined defense, speed, and attack. So it had not fallen down after withstanding so many attacks, but its body was already torn apart, and black flames began to gather in the mouths of its 2 heads. Xiao shouted, "Oh no, it's going to get bigger, everyone get out of the way." After hearing this, everyone in Shrek quickly retreated. Perhaps because the injury on her leg yesterday was not completely healed, Meng Yiren suddenly fell down when she retreated. But at this time, the two-headed demon snake's ultimate move had been released. When she wanted to get up again, the overwhelming black fire had already arrived in front of her. She closed her eyes again in despair. When the black fire was about to engulf her, a figure blocked her again. That figure was still so familiar and safe in Meng Yiren's eyes. I saw a holy light energy shield appear in front of Xiao instantly, directly isolating the overwhelming black fire outside. Xiao had previously popularized that once the black flame of the two-headed demon snake burned, it was difficult to extinguish, so the black fire continued to burn. At this time, Xiao and Meng Yiren were trapped in the black fire. At this time, everyone in Shrek who was outside was also quite anxious, because they could not see Xiao and the others at all outside, and could only see a piece of black fire. Only Xiao Wu and Gu Yuna were present and they were not worried at all, because they both knew that such a small scene would not be difficult for Xiao. But Gu Yuna still didn't understand why Xiao had to hide his strength. Xiao and Meng Yiren were safe in the black fire. Meng Yiren suddenly threw herself into Xiao's arms and said in a crying voice, "Xiao, I'm sorry, I've dragged you down again." Xiao stroked her hair and said gently, "It's okay, I don't blame you." Enjoying Xiao's tenderness, she slowly raised her head, looked at Xiao's cheek with her beautiful eyes, and then boldly kissed Xiao with her fragrant lips. After the kiss, he finally mustered up the courage to say that sentence. "Xiao, I like you." After saying that, he shyly buried his head in Xianyu's arms. Although she was comfortable, Xianyu was stupid. He didn't expect that he, the lord of all demons, Dongfang Xianyu, would be kissed by a little girl. Because he was the only one who forcefully kissed another girl, Jinring Su, and no other girl dared to forcefully kiss him. It seems that he is usually too gentle. Xianyu pulled Meng Yiren up from his arms and said seriously, "I have a girlfriend." Meng Yiren shyly said again, "I don't mind." Xianyu held her forward and thought, "Auntie, this is not a question of whether you mind or not, it's a question of whether Xiao minds or not." But Xianyu couldn't bear to reject her, as it might hurt her. If you want to blame someone, you can only blame him for being too charming. If you cause peach blossoms yourself, you have to take responsibility. Alice, my damn charm. Xianyu grabbed Meng Yiren's hand and said, "Give me some time to think about it." After that, he didn't give Meng Yiren a chance to answer. He snapped his fingers and extinguished the black fire outside the shield. Then he withdrew the shield and ran away. Although he had already run far away, he still said with concern, "Quickly absorb the soul ring." Everyone in Shrek looked at him strangely. What on earth did Meng Yiren do to Xianyu? When Meng Yiren began to absorb the soul ring, Tianyu walked back slowly. Perhaps because Meng Yiren's martial soul was originally a snake staff, there was an inexplicable degree of fit when absorbing the soul ring of snake soul beasts, so the absorption was also very fast. In less than a moment, the soul ring was absorbed, and the third soul skill was successfully obtained, and the soul power reached level 30. Ning Rongrong said, "Yiren, release your newly acquired third soul skill, let us see the power and effect." "Yes." Meng Yiren nodded and began to operate the soul power. The other people in Shrek couldn't wait to see what Meng Yiren's third soul skill was like. After all, the strength of the two-headed demon shadow snake was relatively strong and rare among soul beasts of the same level. They wanted to see what kind of soul ring they could get by killing this kind of soul beast. I saw a black flame burning at the top of the snake staff in Meng Yiren's hand. I saw Meng Yiren draw in the air, and a black shadow blade floated in the air. Then Meng Yiren aimed at a towering tree and slashed it. The black shadow blade directly cut a tree in half. When everyone thought that the effect of this soul skill was just at this moment, the two sections of the tree that was cut in half instantly burned with the black flames. After seeing the black flames, everyone roughly knew the effect of this soul skill. The fat man stuttered, This is the black fire that the two-headed snake spit out. If it is true, it would be too abnormal, because he has seen the horror of this black fire." Meng Yiren said, "Yes, my third soul skill is called Snake Shadow Flame Slash. As long as the target is hit by the shadow blade, black flames will burn on the body. If the soul power is released from the target, it will be absorbed. The soul power will nourish the black flame and make it bigger and bigger. Moreover, the black flame is extremely powerful and difficult to extinguish. At most 3 shots can be cut at a time." After listening to Meng Yiren's introduction, everyone also took a breath, because the effect of this soul skill is really abnormal. If an ordinary soul master is hit, he can only wait for death. The author's description of emotions may not be very good. After all, I just started writing novels, so the description of characters' emotions may be a little naive, so please don't mind. The author believes that readers who can see this should not care about these problems and details. After all, people read books mainly for fun. The author also wants to write good books for readers, because books are originally written for you, so I need to write it well. Book Friends Group. 100,861,943 Book Friends Group. 100,861,943 Book Friends Group. 100,861,943. Chapter 48 Night Attack on Zhu Zhuqing. Thank you, everyone. Without your help, I would not have been able to obtain such a powerful spirit ring. Ning Rongrong said, "You're welcome. We are all partners. Partners should help each other, right?" Daimyu Bei, Oscar and others said the same thing. Although they had only spent a day together, everyone in Shrek felt that Meng Yiren was a good girl. Ahem. Since the spirit ring has been absorbed, let's continue to look for Zhuqing's third spirit ring and see if we can find a spirit beast suitable for Zhuqing's third spirit ring before the sun sets tonight. After that, Xianyu and the others continued to look for a spirit beast suitable for Zhu Zhuqing's spirit ring in the forest. Everyone felt that the most suitable spirit beast for Zhu Zhuqing's third spirit ring was undoubtedly a tiger spirit beast of the same cat family. Xianyu and the others had encountered many powerful tiger spirit beasts, such as the red flame tiger, the howling wind tiger, the thunder feather tiger. But Xianyu felt that none of them were suitable, because Zhu Zhuqing's nether spirit cat was a dark element martial spirit, so the spirit ring naturally had to be of the dark attribute. Zhu Zhuqing looked at Xianyu, who was determined to find the most suitable soul ring for him. She felt warm in her heart. Xianyu still cared about others. In fact, she didn't care how good the quality of the soul ring was, as long as it could be used, but Xianyu insisted on finding the most suitable one for her. Besides, other people in Shrek had no objection, so she could only follow Xianyu's opinion and look for the most suitable soul ring. They searched for a whole day, and the sun had set, but they still couldn't find a suitable soul ring. Xianyu said, "Let's stop here today. Let's go back to the spirit world to rest and continue looking tomorrow." In fact, it was already very lucky for Xianyu and his team to find 2 suitable soul rings in one day, and they didn't need to build a bonfire in the forest to sleep in the open air. Some soul beast teams wanted to hunt a suitable soul beast, and they could even stay in the forest for a month or several months. At night, they not only had to endure the harsh environment, but also had to be careful of the attacks of soul beasts at night, just for a suitable soul ring. At night, after eating in the cafeteria in the spirit world, everyone in Shrek went back to their rooms to rest. In the middle of the night, in Zhu Zhuqing's room, Zhu Zhuqing was lying on the bed, sleeping soundly. She slept so softly, and the curves of her body were so refreshing. In the moonlight, her face was so moist that people had an evil impulse when they saw it. Suddenly, a black shadow suddenly appeared beside Zhu Zhuqing's bed, and Zhu Zhuqing woke up instantly. She had lacked a sense of security since she was a child, which made her develop a habit of waking up instantly even at the slightest disturbance. The soul power transformed into sharp claws and grabbed the figure in the dark. Xianyu was also startled, and hurriedly grabbed Zhu Zhuqing's 2 slender hands and pressed her against the bed. Seeing that Zhu Zhuqing was about to resist fiercely, Xianyu hurriedly said, "Shh, I am Xianyu." Hearing the familiar voice and breath, Zhu Zhuqing suddenly stopped moving. But her face was flushed, and her voice trembled. You don't have to be like this." Xianyu looked at Zhu Zhuqing's appearance of letting people pick her, and was also startled, knowing that this girl must have thought wrongly. He also quickly let go of her hands and explained, "Ahem, well, I actually have something serious to talk to you about, not what you think." Zhu Zhuqing also knew that she seemed to have misunderstood Xianyu, and quickly restored her usual cold state and said, "What is it?" But the blush on her face still showed that she was thinking about something bad. Xianyu was not embarrassed, and continued, "Just before going to bed, I suddenly thought of a soul beast that is quite suitable for you, but this soul beast only appears at night, so I want to take you back to the forest to have a look." "Is that it?" "Yes, that's it." "Okay, then are we going back to the forest now?" After hearing Xianyu say that there was only this one thing, she didn't know why she felt a little disappointed. "Yes, let's go." After saying that, Xianyu held Zhu Zhuqing's slender jade hand, and with a thought, the two returned to the Star Dao Great Forest. The Star Dao Forest at night was very quiet, with only the sounds of some small soul beasts moving around. It was very dark and pitch black. Zhu Zhuqing activated her soul power, and her pupils turned purple. Xianyu also activated his soul power, and his pupils turned golden, so that the two of them could see the Star Forest clearly at night. Zhu Zhuqing's was her martial soul's own ability, and cats can see at night, which is common sense. Xianyu's was his Holy Dragon martial soul's divine power. After all, the Holy Dragon martial soul is omnipotent, so a little night vision is nothing. The wind was very cold, and Zhu Zhuqing's body trembled and said, "Xianyu, will the soul beast you said really appear at this time?" Xianyu took off his clothes and put them on her, saying, "Yes, it's right, let's look for it." Feeling the warmth of Xianyu's clothes, Zhu Zhuqing felt that it was worth it even if she couldn't find the soul ring in the middle of the night. The two of them shuttled through the forest at night to search, and encountered many soul beasts along the way. For example, the soul beast that only appears at night, the Nether Nighthawk, was hunting prey weaker than itself. On the way, they also encountered a soul beast with the same martial soul as Zhu Zhuqing, the Nether Spirit Cat. It was a netherworld spirit cat that was about 5,000 years old. It was standing on the tree and observing Xianyu and Zhu Zhuqing. It was probably thinking, why does that tribe member look so strange? Xianyu looked at it and said evilly, what are you looking at? If you keep looking, I'll take you as a pet. Looking at Xianyu's golden pupils, although it didn't know what Xianyu was talking about, the netherworld spirit cat still ran away when it felt the danger. Zhu Zhuqing asked Xianyu in confusion, Xianyu, the soul beast you are talking about is not the netherworld spirit cat, right? If she really had to hunt the netherworld spirit cat to become a soul ring, she didn't know why she felt a little uncomfortable. Xianyu said, of course not, Meow Meow is so cute, why should I hunt Meow Meow? Bright-winged tiger, you were not polite at all when you hit me, that's good. After hearing Xianyu say that it was not a netherworld spirit cat, Zhu Zhuqing was relieved. After that, the two continued to move forward to find the soul beast that Xianyu mentioned. It's a bit watery, but my lovely book friends shouldn't mind it. Oh, daily recommendation group. 100,861,943. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49. Xianyu was attacked again. When the two of them didn't know how long they had been searching, a bright purple light not far away instantly attracted the attention of Xianyu and Zhu Zhuqing. Xianyu, this light is a bit strange, let's go and take a look. Well, okay. Zhu Zhuqing nodded. Xianyu and Zhu Zhuqing landed directly in a sea of flowers. It turned out that the purple light was emitted from this sea of flowers. Looking at these beautiful flowers, Zhu Zhuqing instantly felt that this trip tonight was worth it. When Xianyu saw this purple sea of flowers, Xianyu knew that the prey tonight was coming out. Sure enough, a tiger roar was heard, and a huge tiger with a dark purple body suddenly jumped out of the forest. The tiger made a loud noise when it appeared, but Zhu Zhuqing didn't react at all at this time. Zhu Zhuqing stared blankly at the purple flowers in her hand, and a strange purple light appeared in her beautiful eyes. It was not until Xianyu touched Zhu Zhuqing's forehead that Zhu Zhuqing woke up. Zhu Zhuqing was still a little confused at this time, until the tiger roared again, which made her completely sober. Smart, she quickly understood what happened and said to Xianyu, is there something wrong with this flower? Yes, that's right, this flower is called Purple Fantasy Flower, which has a terrifying ability to confuse people. No matter whether it is a human or a soul beast, as long as they see the purple light of this flower, they will be confused. The purple shadow nether tiger living here will jump out and eat the confused prey. The blood of the prey can nourish the purple fantasy flower, making the purple light it emits more confusing. After listening to Xianyu's introduction, Zhu Zhuqing was also a little scared. If she was the only one present at the time, she would really be dead. The purple shadow nether tiger slowly walked towards Xianyu and Zhu Zhuqing, thinking that Xianyu and Zhu Zhuqing were both confused prey. It licked its tiger mouth and opened its tiger mouth to bite Xianyu and the others. Xianyu smiled and said, what a naughty little brain. After saying that, a golden light began to condense in Xianyu's fist. The purple shadow nether tiger realized that something was wrong and was about to run away. But Xianyu's fist did not give it a chance. A golden iron fist directly blasted its huge body hundreds of meters away, slammed it hard on the ground, and slid for a long distance. Xianyu gave Zhu Zhuqing a look. Zhu Zhuqing nodded, then came to the dying purple shadow nether tiger and coldly finished it off. A purple soul ring slowly floated out of the body of the purple shadow nether tiger. Zhu Zhuqing also sat cross-legged and began to absorb the soul ring. Xianyu sat quietly beside her. In fact, when Xianyu and the others found the purple shadow nether tiger, it was almost dawn, so when Zhu Zhuqing absorbed the soul ring, it was already bright. After seeing Zhu Zhuqing absorb the soul ring, Tianyu said, Zhuqing, release the effect of your newly acquired third soul skill. Yes. Zhu Zhuqing nodded, and a purple soul ring floated from her body. Purple Shadow Netherworld / A purple soul power condensed in Zhu Zhuqing's hand, and soon formed a purple-black energy longsword. Zhu Zhuqing slashed directly at a boulder not far away, instantly slashing the boulder into countless pieces, and the speed was also very fast. Yes, very strong destructive power, the same level of fragile soul masters can't withstand a slash. But, Zhuqing, Is the effect of your third soul skill only like this? Zhu Zhuqing smiled and said, of course it's more than that. Zhu Zhuqing condensed a purple sword in her hand again and swung it directly at another tree. Unlike the previous attack, this attack was a long-range attack. The purple energy knife instantly escaped from Zhu Zhuqing's hand and turned into a flying blade to cut towards the tree. In Tianyu's sight, the purple flying blade disappeared in the air. But this was just a small matter in Tianyu's eyes. Tianyu's pupils were shining with golden light. The purple flying blade continued to appear in Tianyu's sight. Then the purple flying blade cut on the tree and cut it in half. Tianyu thought to himself, interesting, this soul skill can attack without a trace. If this soul skill is suddenly used on the opponent in a battle, it will definitely catch the opponent by surprise, and even seriously injure the opponent, or even kill him instantly. It is really not easy for people without pupil skills to see the shadow blade released by Zhu Zhuqing's third soul skill. Although this move is already super powerful among the same level, it is still a bit childish in Tianyu's eyes. But this is enough, because Zhu Zhuqing's soul skill can kill most soul masters of the same level instantly. In order to prevent Zhu Zhuqing from feeling disappointed, Tianyu still pretended to say, Zhuqing, how can your third soul skill be invisible? Finding that there was something Tianyu didn't understand, Zhu Zhuqing also explained, this is another effect of the purple shadow netherworld slash, the shadowless netherworld slash, which can make the netherworld slash invisible, making the opponent unable to see the attack trajectory of the soul skill, and then delivering a fatal blow. Awesome, the effect of your soul skill is not inferior to Yiren's third soul skill at all. Tianyu also said seriously. Because Tianyu couldn't compare Zhu Zhuqing and Meng Yiren's talents and strengths with himself, because they were not at the same level at all. It can even be said that there is really no one in the entire Douluo Continent who can compare with Tianyu at the same level. So from the perspective of normal humans, soul masters who can obtain powerful soul skills like Zhu Zhuqing and Meng Yiren at the third soul skill are really rare. Except for some wall hangers with great luck. Yet, Zhu Zhuqing nodded, with a smile on her lips. She was actually a little happy to be praised by Tianyu. In fact, when he saw Meng Yiren's powerful third soul skill that day, to be honest, Zhu Zhuqing was a little envious in her heart. Because no one doesn't want to get a powerful soul skill, let alone Zhu Zhuqing who has always been strong. Possessing a powerful soul skill is equivalent to having power. Only with enough power can she get rid of the shackles of the family and survive from the hands of her sisters. She didn't want to kill her sisters. All she could do was to become stronger and not be killed by her sisters. Looking at the sky, Tianyu said, Zhuqing, they should wake up too, and we should go back, otherwise they will worry again. Yet, Zhu Zhuqing nodded. But she seemed to have suddenly thought of something, and came to Tianyu with a slightly red face. Tianyu didn't know what Zhu Zhuqing was going to do, so he didn't guard against it. Zhu Zhuqing suddenly attacked and kissed him on the right cheek. Then she quickly entered the spirit world with a blushing face, leaving only one sentence, Tianyu, thank you for tonight, this is a reward for you. Tianyu touched her slightly moist and warm cheek, and said hypocritically, damn it, I was ambushed again. I had something to do in the past 2 days, so there was no update. I will resume normal updates today. Chapter 50 Rewards. When Tianyu and Zhu Zhuqing returned to the spirit world, everyone in Shrek had woken up, because the speed of time in the spirit world is the same as that in the outside world. And it was obvious that everyone in Shrek had been awake for a long time, and they were obviously waiting for Tianyu and Zhu Zhuqing to come back. When Tianyu and Zhu Zhuqing came back, they were faced with several interrogating eyes. At this time, everyone in Shrek was playing a big drama in their minds. Daimyo saw that Tianyu and Zhu Zhuqing really came back together, and his heart was broken at that moment. Tianyu and Zhu Zhuqing, a man and a woman, did not return all night. This is something that everyone would think wrongly. Author's note, in the original novel, Daimyo only liked Zhu Zhuqing for her appearance in the early stage, and his feelings were accumulated later. There was no substantial feelings in the early stage, so even if Tianyu has conquered Zhu Zhuqing now, it will not affect the relationship between the Shrek people, so at this time, Daimyo can only silently wish Tianyu and Zhu Zhuqing happiness. Although he likes Zhu Zhuqing very much, it is obvious that Tianyu has more charisma than him, so it is not surprising that Zhu Zhuqing chose him. If he wants to blame someone, He should blame himself for not having as great talent and strength as Tianyu. Besides, Tianyu is still his good brother. The two of them can't fall out because of a girl. Besides, that girl doesn't like him, so he has no right to fall out. Xiao Wu thought to herself, wow, has brother become so bold now? He has started to act so blatantly. I just asked him to chase Rongrong, but I didn't expect that brother has such a big appetite. He even wants to hold Zhuqing in his arms. Brother is really a playboy. Meng Yiren thought to herself, does brother Tianyu like this type of girl? No wonder he doesn't want me even though I've put it right in front of him. Should I change my style? Ning Rongrong thought to herself, Zhuqing seems to be the one who cares least about Tianyu, but I didn't expect her to be the first one to make a move. Xiao Wuji thought to himself, I remember that Tianyu's girlfriend is Xiao Wu. He has a girlfriend, but he still takes another girl out in the middle of the night and doesn't come back all night. At this time, Xiao Wuji only wanted to say one thing, young people are too good. Although Oscar and Fatty didn't say anything, the envy was already written all over their faces. Tianyu knew that he must have been misunderstood again by looking at the expressions of the Shrek people. He also explained, it's not what you think. I went with Zhuqing to get her third soul ring last night. Fatty, okay, Tianyu, don't explain. We all understand. He smiled obscenely. Tianyu held his forehead. He wanted to beat up the fat man who was still adding fuel to the fire, but he held back and said to Zhu Zhuqing, Zhuqing, release your third soul ring. Because if Zhu Zhuqing didn't produce evidence to prove their innocence, the misunderstanding would probably get worse. Zhu Zhuqing didn't care about other people's eyes, because the innocent are innocent, and then a purple soul ring slowly rose from under her feet. When the people of Shrek saw Zhu Zhuqing's third soul ring, they knew that they really misunderstood her. Xiao Wu came to Tianyu and said, brother, you actually took Zhuqing to get the spirit ring in the middle of the night. Tianyu pretended to be tired and yawned. Of course, the spirit beast that is suitable for Zhuqing's third spirit ring will only appear at night. Zhuqing and I have been working hard to find her all night. Now I am so sleepy. Brother, you have worked really hard for our Kinger's third spirit ring. Let me reward you. After saying that, he kissed Tianyu on the face. While Tianyu was enjoying it, he casually said, Zhuqing has already been rewarded. Hearing Tianyu say that Zhuqing has already been rewarded, the sensitive Xiao Wu instantly grasped the point, and pretended to be fierce and said, brother, what did you say? Tianyu realized that he had said the wrong thing and hurriedly explained, no, Xiao Wu, you heard it wrong. Xiao Wuji, Zhuqing, show your third spirit skill. Okay, teacher Xiao. Then Zhu Zhuqing performed the purple shadow netherworld slash and the shadowless netherworld spirit slash, and the trees in the spirit world became pitiful targets. After watching the effect of Zhu Zhuqing's third soul skill, everyone was quite shocked. After all, this was another soul skill that was not inferior to Meng Yiren's third soul skill. After watching it, Tang San thought to himself, what a unique soul skill, especially the shadowless netherworld slash. If I don't open the purple gold demon eye, I really can't see the attack trajectory of this soul skill. If I encounter such a move in a battle, it will be really difficult. In fact, he really envied the ability to have such a super explosive soul skill. Who doesn't like to have the ability to kill people in one move? And he, whose martial soul is blue silver grass, is destined to not have a high explosive soul skill, and can only be a tool man. It's the same third soul skill, why is the difference so big? What I have worked hard to cultivate is not as useful as others who directly obtain a great soul skill. He now wants to use his second soul skill very much, and this feeling is getting stronger and stronger, but he still suppresses it. Even Tang San, who has the purple gold demon eye, finds this soul skill difficult. It is conceivable what will happen if others encounter this move. Ning Rongrong said, if this soul skill is aimed at me, I will definitely not be able to dodge it. Daimyu Bei, my third soul skill is considered to be a top-notch one among many third soul skills, but it is still a little worse than Zhuqing and Yiran's third soul skills. In fact, Daimyu Bei thought too much. His white tiger fierce light wave is not bad. At least his third soul skill is a very good killer move in the same level. Especially the fourth soul skill he will obtain later, the white tiger meteor shower is a good killer move, at least it is more powerful than Zhu Zhuqing's third soul skill now. But that is also after he obtains the fourth soul skill. At that time, Zhu Zhuqing's fourth soul skill may be able to kill his fourth soul skill in seconds. After all, With Tianyu around, Zhu Zhuqing and the other girls' soul rings will not be bad. Xiao Wu nodded and said, after Zhu Zhuqing has a new soul skill, little monster, your overall strength has improved a lot. As a teacher, although he is usually more serious, he is still happy from the bottom of his heart to see his students' strength improved. Xiao Wu was right. The main job of a spirit master of the agility attack system is to cut a back row, and it is not too easy for Zhu Zhuqing to cut a back row after she has the third spirit skill. Xiao Wu cleared his throat and said, since you have all obtained your third spirit rings, we can set off to go home today. When everyone heard that they were going back, they were not so happy, because returning to the academy meant that they could no longer continue to practice in Tianyu's spirit world. Because the speed of practicing in the spirit world is really too fast, much faster than outside, they are a little reluctant. Tianyu saw their thoughts and said, after we go back, my spirit world will be used as a training ground for everyone. Xiao Wu was the first to stand up and said, no, this is your space spirit ring. If you use it for everyone to practice, what will you use? They are the Shrek Academy with principles, and they cannot force a student to suffer losses for the sake of the overall interests. It's okay, Teacher Xiao, I have a lot of spirit rings like this, and I don't use this one often, so I'll give it to everyone as a training ground. As long as everyone's strength can be improved, a little loss is nothing. When Oscar and Fatty heard Jan say that he had a lot of spirit rings, Fatty immediately came up and said, Tianyu, give me a spirit ring. I'm not greedy, I just want one. Oscar, and me. Tianyu immediately pushed them both away and said, Ghost. Brainless trolls, ghost. Unlucky, affecting my mood for typing. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone, see you in the next video.